Hey y'all, it's me again, Joey.
Well, ready to let them loose?
Yep, that's it. Let's see if they make us run.
Oh,
Probably so.
yeah, that one tried to get after him, but other than that, what can you expect? I mean, can you blame them? Oh yeah, they're getting after us now. Go, Joey, go!
Hey man!
Good night, buddy. I'm gonna get in the truck. You gotta go back and get your camera.
But also, just get as many as you can off the one that's through it gets out.
You gotta move forward.
Do that side again. Y'all ready? Let's get started. Here we are. We finally got here. Hey, how's everybody over in the chat doing? Not gonna try to call names to them. How you doing, Mr. JW?
Almost perfect.
Yeah. I know I say it every time, but every time I start trying to call these names out, I miss somebody.
How's everyone?
I got to chasing. I had an order. When I ordered it, it wasn't supposed to come to Sunday, but then immediately after they set the shipping times, they said it would be here today, and of course they moved it back from one bracket to another, and just I mean 6:30, I think it was something like that. I got something kind of like a text on my phone. It says I can't find your address. Can you give me some directions? Well, it wouldn't let me do anything. It didn't come by text. It didn't come by my phone. It didn't come by email. I went into Amazon. I couldn't find nowhere to communicate with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was right here. You know how I showed you on the back side of the old 40?
Yep.
There's another driveway back there.
Mm-hmm.
I walked outside. I could see him leaving that house, his lights. And he stopped at the first house on the road. And I said, well, they'll tell him where he's at in a minute. He come right around. I could hear his truck. He come right around and passed my driveway up and pulled into my uncle's house next door. And I said, well, they'll send him back up here. He pulled out and went toward Pine. And I tried to run him down. And as soon as something about their site, you can track him and you can watch him, but every now and then it'll lock up. So I went on thinking he was still down at my uncle's house. I said, I just get it from him there. And then it showed him on up the road. Well, when I was headed on the Pine, he come up to the drive, end of another driveway. And I had to go all the way to Pine to get a turnaround place. And when I come back, never did see him. He had turned off on another road, and I saw him going down it. I said, well, maybe I can catch up with him. Well, it froze again. So I said, I don't know where he's at. So I come back home, and I have followed him all over Pine, Louisiana. And he still ain't made it back here yet. He finally put on there that he had a few more packages to deliver, and he'd try again. I know what he's going to do. He's going to say he couldn't find a place, and they were going to try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he had to pass my driveway with the name on it and had to pass my house sign twice to miss me the way he did. But something, they've updated their map or something, and what it does, it tells them they have to go to that other road to get to me instead of off the main highway. Their last 3 deliveries has been that way. It tried to come over there instead of here. But anyway, enough of that. And that's prime. when the Amazon usually drives, I don't know if there's a difference, but anytime they're in a prime beat, it says prime's doing it. Uh, it's that way, and I don't know why.
Mm.
Let's see how many people I'm boring right now. 50 people. That's a pretty good number. Let's see. Did I pin the link, Mr. JW?
Yeah, I don't know if you pinned. It's not showing pinned on my screen, but you had it on the screen. Don't show that you ever pinned it.
Yeah, it's pinned.
Okay.
Anyway, I got the pin link. Uh, link pinned. Anybody wants to come on in?
Yeah, we need help. We're both having trouble this evening.
Yeah, I don't have nothing to talk about. I hadn't been in a beehive in 2 weeks.
Well, I
Or
was
at
in
least,
one all day again today. My good buddy Matt Ramsbottom was out today. We closed up, broke down, closed up another 39 hives we got through today. He went back to the dirty side, but
yeah.
good day. It was a beautiful day up here today with, I don't know what the temperature was, but the sun was shining and I'd had an inch and a half of rain just prior to the last couple of days and actually rained last night. We got a bunch of bee work done today and he headed back for the dirty side. So
Yeah.
he'll be getting home here in about an hour probably. So.
We got a little bit of rain, a little last night and a little night before, but it's, not enough to
Well, the
really
last
wet
2 days I've had an inch and a half up here.
Yeah.
But we needed it. It's not wet. There's a water stand in a few places, but it'll soak in. But the rest of it, I mean, you can
Yeah.
go about any place. It's usually we get an inch and a half of rain while you can't just get around too well. But it was dry enough this today that we got around easy enough. I've got a Cushman work cart and we run in. I told I told Matthew if we couldn't make it in some places, he was going to do the pushing because I was incapable. All I'm
I,
capable of doing is steering.
I just hid something. I don't know what I hid. I was clicking to take that highlight off, and it said I hid something.
Just make his pinned at the top. Come on, okay. I don't see any change in. I don't see any change in your setup for other than about like it always is. Looks like to me. I can't see any change in it.
I think I might have hid somebody's comment though. I don't know.
You better, Lisa, get that cherry amaretto on the cooker. I'll be madder than ever, Ben, if you don't show up with that cherry amaretto. I love that stuff. Good stuff. That's Grammy. She's got some of her. She's got some of the best jelly, in my opinion, known to man. We did something that was a first for me. We put a double nuke in a split a 10 frame box and put it. They had 2 week. He had 2 week. 2 week. They weren't weak, or we were weaker colonies in
Yeah.
10 frame boxes, and we took them out and put them in one split 10 frame on top of a strong 10 frame box. In other words, we got three colonies and double screened them above. If you understand what I'm saying, I guess I'm making myself plain. So I've never actually done that. I've used a double screen board before, but I've never put two colonies on top of, on top of one big colony. So we'll see what happens with them.
You put two on top of one?
Split a 10,
Yeah.
put a divider, follower board or divider board in the middle, and got 2 5-frame nukes on top of a 10-frame hive. So we got 3 colonies in one you know, one hive set up. So it'll be interesting to see if it works out. I'm pretty sure one of them will, and the other one's questionable, I'd say. Let's see what happens. Put on 109 pounds of fondant today, and then 39 hives. I had 109. Well, I say we put on 109. I think we had 3 pound and a half, 4 pound and a half packages left out of 109 pounds of fondant. We put on 39 hives today. So they ought to be good to go to Christmas, I'm thinking. We'll see. So
Hopefully.
yeah. Shut them up. You've got insulated tops on them, and it should be good to go, I'm thinking. So we'll see what happens. See if I know what we're talking about or not.
Yeah.
And boy, I tell you what, I just give him all these good lessons, and he just keeps on getting bigger. I tell him he's got too many hives. Just keeps getting more. I think he's around 170 now in 3 years' time.
I don't know how he does that.
I tell you, give credit where credit's due, and I know he can't hear me but he's very conscientious. He's a good bee man, gonna make a good one. So,
What was it? Turkey flavored fondant.
yeah. I tell you, I'm probably the world's greatest expert now. I've been into the fondant business here about 2 weeks, and I just know about everything there is to know about fondant. I'm going to have to make more now. I've used everything. I used every bit I had made up. We did on his stuff and my stuff today, and I've still got. I've still got 20, 26 or 27 to put fondant on yet. So didn't get them all through everything we had. But we got the main important thing done. We got all of his stuff done, and third of mine. So. I tell you what, they're going through it. I mean, going through it. So.
Yeah. I'm seeing some new stuff over here that I've never noticed. Over there where it says people, you click on people to the right. And it's just showing who's on screen, really. Huh.
It's not coming up on my end. I'm just a guest. You know, you probably got the. See that them was split screen. They've got a new StreamYard. I don't know if you noticed it from StreamYard. They've got a new setup. Call it Mars, I think, MARS, and you can split the screen for either iPads or iPhones. You know, and it splits the screen. Comes up to double images. I don't like it, but thank God you haven't got it on. So.
I've seen something about that, but I don't know what it is. Let's see what she's saying.
Oh, but the beard balm.
Oh yeah. I need something with this mess.
I can start. You're starting to get her out there where she's handlebarish. Yeah.
It's weird. It's gonna be gone in a few days, probably.
I've got a good local buddy up here. He's got a big handlebar mustache. It almost comes out there 3 or 4 inches on each side.
Yeah.
Grammy, you need to send him some of you need to make him up some. Make that beeswax beard balm, send it out to him. Put it the amaretto flavored. He'll be licking his lips.
Well, I've got some wax and some balm, but this side over here, until the last couple of days, it's always want to naturally curl up, just like a bullhorn. And this one wanted to curl down, and
Well,
I had to keep making it kind of halfway match this one. And now this one's doing what that one was doing. They both want to turn out now, so I just kind of leave them alone.
you can't tell. It looks all right to me, but you know.
And make you smell pretty.
We we had a kind of it was kind of funny to me incident today. Matt thought he had one hive that was a little bit weak. I said, man, I've been lifting on that hive. I think it's not that weak. So he said he was getting ready to set it off and put it up, put it on top of another hive too. He went to lift it and he couldn't hardly lift it. Couldn't hardly lift it. We messed around there and I got to laughing at him. So he put it back together. We left it the way it was.
Those 3 hives that I moved a couple of feet at a time to make that video.
Yeah.
They were really cutting up this morning. They were cutting up more than anybody else in the whole yard. I don't know what they'd got into. They was moving in and out though.
I don't know. My bees was all the bees that we worked the ones he's got out here at my place and my own bees, they were very calm and cooperative today. We didn't have a bit of trouble. We had them completely opened up, and they didn't cause a bit of trouble, which I was thankful for.
I think that driver's locked his phone up or whatever now because he's in the same place he was before we started the chat.
Yeah.
He ain't moved, so he's
Maybe
probably shut it down and said, I'm headed back to the house.
Yeah, probably what's happened. Well, it's nothing emergency that you got to have today, is it?
No, just a little project.
Yeah. Well, do they deliver down there on Sundays?
They do. That's something they just started. The Amazon and USPS, they got somebody delivers.
Yep.
On Sundays now.
Yeah, they do. The post office, which surprised me. But the ones that run on Sunday don't deliver anything but the packages.
That's it. It's just like special delivery stuff. Not necessarily nothing mail.
I wax dip woodware about all day yesterday. I got everything caught up that I had that needed wax.
I thought you was already caught up with all that. You still wax dipping?
I made a bunch more stuff. So I had to go at it again.
Huh.
I had see, Matt's got about all 10 frame stuff, and I've only got a few 10 frame hives left. I'm trying to go to all 8 frame.
Yeah.
Stuff. And but I've still got some. I've got, I don't know, 6 or 7 10 frame hives, and I'm just trying to wear the wood out. It's going to be. I'll have 10 frames for. I'm not going to quit on them. I'm going to have 10 frames till I wear them out, and it's going to be a day or two for they wear out. So
I miss Philip coming in. I miss several people.
Okay.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Got the lanyards, hot though. I watched that little short video Cayman put out today about lighting a smoker. I could just about hear a producer in my head hollering, "Cut, cut!"
Mhm. I hadn't seen it. I seen he had one posted, but I hadn't
It's
looked
pretty
at
funny.
it. We talk about lighting a smoker, how to keep it lit. My son bought he's always buying something and giving it to me. He bought some kind of a torch that's got a head on it that's puts out a flame about an inch around. And if you kick it on a certain thing, he showed it to me today. He said, "I got you one too." I don't know why. It's almost too powerful to light a smoker with. So let's see what happens. It uses that, what is it? They call it MAP. That is that gas. It's not propane. It's what they call MAP.
Yeah.
So I don't know that much about it. I've got some MAP fuel that I bought by mistake that I've had 2 or 3 years. So JLA.
Mhm.
If you're going to politic, Via, you guys need to get on here and do your politicking in person.
Talking to Tom.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Cayman, you might as well come on in here. See if you got anything to tell us.
That sounds like an island someplace. That don't sound like a person. That's
Yeah.
we used to run off down there to the Caymans when I was at fish. We'd commercial fish in the wintertime when I was in the charter boat business. We'd run off down to the Cayman Islands once in a while, fish down there. Long boat ride home from the panhandle of Florida to the Cayman Islands, I can tell you that.
I wouldn't know. Pretty sure it is.
You're driving. You driving, Miss Daisy? Are you there, folks? Via? Always driving. Always on the way home, coming or going. That couple's got the go fever, Joey.
They stay on the road, don't they?
Yeah,
Or either somewhere eating.
go fever. That's what my mama used to say when I aggravated her wanting to go someplace. She said, "You got the go fever, son." He's driving Mrs.
Miss
Melissa.
Melissa.
Oh, okay. You might be better off with Daisy, Miss Daisy. Melissa will be bossing you around, telling you where to turn, driving too fast, how to stop, stopping too quickly, that kind of stuff.
I was digging through, well, actually, this freezer. I looked in this one and one outside. I still got some honey frames I need to pull out of there and put in some hives somewhere.
I don't do that very often. Of course, very seldom ever freeze frames. I try to get them
There he
cleaned up.
is.
Something with them.
What's up, man?
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, just the usual. Annoying Laurel.
Oh, bless her heart, she's going to have to put up with you, I guess.
Yeah, well,
She made a big mistake.
Hey, what'd y'all do? Book some more blocks with Crown?
yeah, we have. So the problem that we're having, and I may be repeating myself from something I said the other day, but
Yeah.
they don't like to open up a bunch at a time. And so the only way to make this super easy, and maybe we should have done this, but it just makes me nervous, is I can say, hey, I want to purchase as a North American Honeybee Expo 300 rooms. But if I don't meet that, I still have to cover at least 80% of that bill. Um, and so it's kind of, if we only get 200 rooms, then I'm going to spend thousands of dollars. So I've never done that. The problem is this other method is they'll open up 20 something rooms and then they'll sell out as soon as we say, hey, there's rooms available. And then they don't seem like they want to sell a lot of rooms. I don't get it. You think they'd want to, but
Well, that's kind of what I'm feeling from them. When I first bought my ticket, well, right after y'all got the hotels set up, I went in to get a hotel, and they were booked up.
Mhm.
I even called them the next day, and they said we don't have any more rooms. And I probably should have asked that question a little bit different. I should have asked, "Do you have any rooms for these dates?" Instead of saying just book for Nobby,
Sure.
But anyway, that didn't happen. So then I started looking around at other hotels. Wife's wanting to bring her little Yorkie with us, and we just kept getting further out. And I
Sure.
hesitated to book, and finally I checked with them while you were on the other night,
Mhm.
and I checked with them, and they had rooms available.
Isn't
So
that funny?
click.
You know, you that's the most frustrating part of a lot of the stuff that we do with the expo center or the hotels. It comes from people working at these places that aren't necessarily bad people, but they're not very motivated to help their company do well. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. My staff's not like that. No one that works with me at the Bee Expos like that. Everyone really tries to make the experience easy and just very straightforward and help people out. You would think that they would want me to sell every single room that they have, and we would love to do that, because if that was the case, we could have 400 or 500 rooms there full of just beekeepers, and it'd be just one big party, and it'd be very nice. But what's happening again is they'll open up 20 rooms or so, they'll sell out, and then we've got to get a hold of them on the horn and open up some more, and it's just this yin this yang thing, and it's really frustrating. um, and so we thankfully the whole place is recently remodeled, and the restaurants are all remodeled and everything as well, and we're going to have that event there this year, which will be fun. I'm really looking forward to that. There's several big rooms in there that are, again, recently remodeled. They can hold about 500 people, but we're going to cut it off at about half of that. And so, because honestly, I don't want to have to run another whole other mini conference that evening.
Yeah.
So, and also, a lot of people that are coming to that want to hang out with the VIPs a little bit. And I feel like more than about 250 people is, that's plenty big enough. So, but anyways, and the nice thing about it too, there's pros and cons with the Crown and some of the close hotels, but for our staff and stuff, they can just go right across, and having the dinner for our team especially, because we start earlier than everybody else, and we typically stay later than everybody else, which is normal. And so to not have to go to a restaurant and then fight all the rest of the beekeepers who've already packed the restaurant out, that's always funny. I go to a restaurant and like, all right, why are we waiting 30 minutes to get a table? And then I go and I see several of you guys causing the problem. I went onto the Crown's website the day tickets opened up and they said they were sold out. Went to another place and booked a room. Don't want my California money, I guess. No, they just don't care, I guess. I don't understand. I know the lady who runs like the all the hotels there locally, she cares. The problem of it is it just takes so slow. So there's rooms available right now. You can go in, and I think there's 20 something rooms available right now. I'll say that, and then 2 days from now there won't be anything. We'll have to call them and open up some more. So people are still booking there under the booking, but it's a pain.
Well,
It makes sense if it's a pain in the rear to order from a beekeeping company. You're eventually just going to say shoot and fooey, and then you're going to go somewhere else. There's several other good hotels though in the area.
yeah.
So I mean, it's not like it's the one, the only.
I started to pull my camper up there, but I just don't want to spend that many days in a below freezing atmosphere in a camper.
Sure. Well,
I'd be chugging propane all week.
what kind of truck you haul it up with, or is it one of those drive campers?
F-350.
F-350. That's one of the trucks that I have, and yeah, it's burn a lot of diesel too. You know.
But mine's a gasser.
Oh, okay, it's a gasser. Okay, yeah. Well,
it burns a lot of gas too.
burns a lot of gas. Yeah. Let's see here. We got a lot of people talking about various things about hotels, but yeah, there's a lot of good options, and a lot of people do points or have their preferred places, and so there's everything in there. RTX Honeybees asked, does Chris know you're off the chain? Man, I'm always off the chain, dog. No, Chris doesn't know what I'm doing right now. I told him I was going to chill the rest of the evening. I kind of have a little bit, just doing a little bit of light work here and there. And then I saw this go live, and I've just been watching for a while, and I made a comment, and here we are. So, but I've got a new coordinator, Paula Messer, for the North American Honey Bar. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And so we're really looking to send out next week a form for anyone who'd like to contribute and represent their state or province, and like to have 2 or 3 types of honey represented on the table from each place. Hey, Brian,
Hey,
I owe you an email or 2 or 3 at this point.
No worries, man.
I did see the one about speaking in Colorado.
Yeah, I sent that out yesterday. We'll do business some other time though.
Yeah, well, the answer is no. I'm just kidding. I was actually just putting up my 2026 calendar so I could start planning all that out.
And let me tell you, that's one of the things I wanted to say. I was the vice president for the Colorado State Beekeeping Association until the end of September, when our president stepped down recently because of health concerns, which left me with a big folder full of things to plan our winter meeting. And man, what an appreciation I have for the work it puts into putting the event together. The event that I've been working on, hey, Philip, is nothing at all like the events that you guys have been putting on. But it's built an appreciation for the amount of work that goes into all the different tasks to make an event like that happen.
Well, that was exactly the way that I felt when we started this whole nonsense, because you just don't know until you've done it. And of course, I had been to several state meetings, various things, but then we ran the first conference, and we kept it real simple. We just did one speaker. That's all we did in one room, but just there's all kinds of little things. There's so many little things you never would think of. And then there's some big things, like every year, just when we think we've got it dialed in with the provider, oh, we're out of business, or oh, we've decided we're not doing that anymore. Oh, we don't like you very much. We're not working with you. We used the same decorator the first 2 years in Louisville, and just had a major falling out because they lied to me, and I just told them flat out to their face they were liars. And I didn't say it quite that mean, but I said it in a way that made them feel very stupid. And they didn't like it very much. And so that's why we didn't have a forklift last year. They took away my forklift privileges because they couldn't back out of the contract, but they could back out of a couple other things. And it was fun. So
yeah, we've historically had really crappy lunches, and I was determined not to have that for this meeting. And we did have a really good spread, but it was an hour late because the truck broke down. So what am I supposed to do about that,
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. Brian, were you ever at any of the early shows that we did in Sevierville?
I was at the last one in Sevierville.
So
that was my first year.
Yeah, the food situation in Sevierville was a nightmare.
Yeah.
My staff dreaded it, and we didn't know what else to do. They didn't have a lot of options there, and they wouldn't let us bring in like food trucks and various things, and so we were kind of stuck with what we had. And we eventually, of course, moved now to Louisville, and we have these different styles of kind of food vendors / food trucks. And the food's, it's conference food. Some of it's pretty good, but I mean, for the price, it is expensive though. And, and unfortunately, there's just nothing we can do about that. The last show there was the chicken dilemma. The last Sevierville show or this last show? Elaborate, Tom, and maybe talk to Melissa to get your story straight. But yeah, there's always just crazy stuff that happens like that. Somebody gets sick, a speaker backs out, a speaker won't get his stuff to you until like 2 seconds before it has to be sent out to print. And I'm bad about it. I'm bad about it as well. I'm bad about returning emails. But I get so many a day. I can't, if I don't get to someone's email typically within 48 hours, it's just lost into the labyrinth of my emails. But I actually do have yours highlighted, Brian, to get back to you about the meeting. I've got my calendar right here. I'm starting to write out which gigs I'm going to do next year. And Colorado is a fun, beautiful place to visit. So very apt to go to that one.
Right on. Well, we'd love to have you. And again, we can do business some other time, some other place. But and I know how busy you are right now, so it's not like I'm sitting at my computer waiting for an email.
All right. Well, it's good because you're not going to get one tonight. So this is, I want to say thanks to Kara Ching. She is one of our workshop VIPs, and she also gave this little bear of honey to me at Appomondia. It's mostly crystallized, but it's delicious Californian honey. And I think there's star thistle. It reminds me of star thistle. Very good. Very crystallized. So speaking of honey, any of you guys that are coming, if you can spare one 1 pound bottle, that's what we're looking to have to represent your state. And Paula's going to have it set up, and we can't do any flavored stuff, but we are going to have one representing each state, and everyone can go around and try it out and then see how bad Joey's honey really is and all that kind of stuff.
Is plain creamed honey okay, or you want all liquid?
I don't really see that being a problem. As long as it's plain. I haven't really considered that, but a lot of the honey at Appomondia was crystallized or in a cream-like consistency. I think that'll be fine. That's a good. I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
We'll do that too, but it'll be quite a bit. And we already have some really cool honeys coming in. We got a palmetto, orange blossom, got some sourwood. So it'll be neat to try that. And we are all wonderful people in Colorado. Well, I mean,
Eric's a new beekeeper. He's a beginning guy. He's definitely excited about beekeeping. This will be his first bee expo that he's heading out to. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Eric, and welcome to the hobby. If you're here to recover from an addiction, that's not what we do. We get you deeper into it, so there's no way out. But yeah, Colorado. I've only been to Colorado Springs, and I've flown through many times through Denver and all that, but I spent 3.5 days in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and it was beautiful. And just I didn't do any beekeeping though, so I haven't done any beekeeping in Colorado or seen any beekeepers, which is kind of weird for me. But that was a long time ago. I was 21 or maybe not quite 21, so that was 16 years ago.
Wow.
Yep, I just celebrated my 37th birthday. So
happy birthday. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I made it one more year. And and I'm trying to grow this thing out so that people will treat me like I'm an adult. Laurel says it won't work if I still have an immature personality. I didn't fully understand what she meant, but I can't help it. I come from a long line of cut-ups, and so when I release a video like I did this morning with the smoker, that's we're in the bee yard and we will work for 8-12 hours sometimes. It's very rare that we go 12 hours, but there are points in the year where you have those days, moving bees, various stuff like that. But we accidentally drop smoker fuel sometimes. Sometimes we start it and we put it out before it gets going good, and we have to relight it again. And no one gets it right every time, but the fundamentals are really important for new beekeepers, just to see that it's really not that hard. There are some cool options. Butane torches work great. Some people like the kitchen torches and all kinds of stuff, but honestly, if you start with small fuel, you can use a Bic lighter too. And so we've used a lot of different things, and we started filming that, and it just got crazy. It just went. I was trying to do a professional video, and I really struggled to do those, and so it ended up being what it was. And Laurel just kept filming, so I just kept going, and it just kept getting more bizarre and ridiculous. And you know what? I don't have enough shame to not put that up on YouTube. So it is way more fun.
I agree with that.
There's a time to be serious, and there's a time that you don't have to be. And I try to avoid those moments to be serious, if at all possible. But sometimes they come around, and I have to be serious, and I typically don't enjoy that very much. But so I try to cut up where I can, and that's why I'm in this group with you guys, because you guys will let me be myself.
Well, I a lot of times I don't burn all the fuel in my smoker because I don't have that many bees in one yard, except for one maybe. So I plug it and start it with a torch, like you was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times. But if you do that, you got to really puff on that thing a lot to get it really going. You'll think you got it lit. You can set it down and take a cover off and pull a couple of frames. And if you hadn't gave that torch any attention, it'd be out. You have to do it again. But when you start one like you did today and get it packed in, it'll burn all day long. Even if you don't touch it, it'll burn all day long.
And there's a lot of differences with fuel too. Like pine needles is so easy to start and keep going compared to other fuels, but I just don't have a lot of that around here. And mostly what's easily accessible to me is we've got a couple coffee companies, and one actually like the people go to the same church that we do, and I have all kinds of burlap bags accessible to me. And they're trying to get rid of the darn thing, so it works out for both of us. And I slip them a jar under the table every now and then just to make sure that all the bags go my direction. So I never want for fuel. And I don't have like asthma, but whenever I use like hay or grass clippings, it bothers me after a while of using those. A lot of times it's a little moldy, I think, is what the problem is. But I never seem to have problems with pine needles or burlap bags or like wood. If I did a wood pellet or something like that, none of that stuff seems to bother me. 11 hour.
I had to go back and find that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bad day in the bee yard right there. I think after the first 11 minutes, I'm back in the smoker, my truck over the smoker or something like that, which I'll say, and many of you guys already know this, is a poor smoker can really make it difficult no matter what you do. And there's definitely a range of quality of smokers. The Dadent is the easiest one to say, just get a Dadent and that's it. Yep, pine needles and burlap. Randy?
I hardly ever use burlap. I guess it's just because I don't try to collect it. I use pine needles.
If I had access to unlimited pine needles, that's what I'd use. It's just so easy to light.
Yeah.
I like the smell of it too.
It's easier on your nostrils and your eyes. I know that, especially
Well,
compared to some people use rolled up cardboard. I tried that. I cannot stand that.
yeah, I don't like the
That's
cardboard.
that's tough.
I wonder sometimes. I think there was a chart of, and I don't know how accurate it was, but it showed how effective it was at calming the bees and which ones would make them more aggravated from the smoke. And I cannot remember where that was at. And it could have been just a bunch of malarkey too, in someone's opinion. But someone told me the other day, or maybe it was today on my video, that pine needles made bees more aggressive if you smoke them with that. I'm like, what? That works better than anything, I think. It's the cow pie mixed in the hay that make your eyes water. Hey, that's organic matter, man. That's just adding fortifying that honey a little bit. Oh, hey, Melissa.
I gotta go.
Oh, who's that with you? Oh,
My driver.
Yeah. I actually
Can't get any respect around here, can I?
Yeah.
nope. I actually had some of y'all's honey this evening with some of my food.
Ah,
It was pretty good.
thank you.
You know, I wanted to double check and make sure Tom wasn't the one that fooled with this, though.
You don't have to worry about that.
I would say if the label's on straight, you're good. It was Melissa. If it's
It actually is
crooked,
on pretty straight.
yeah.
But no, I had a dated smoker. I didn't know it was the best when I got into bees. I purchased 5 double deep hives and a smoker from a gentleman about 45 minutes away, which I was 14 years old. My dad went with me, and I got him stung. But we didn't know anything about moving bees. We didn't have a bee suit when we grabbed these things, which shows you how little I had done to prep for it. I had read a little bit about it, but not very much. I didn't have a bee suit yet. It was coming the next week, but it was a pretty good price, I felt like, at the time. We went and got them, and the guy said, I'm getting out of bees. You know, he's pretty elderly. And he gave me the smoker that he had purchased the year before. And I still use that smoker. And that was when I was 14. So that was, smoker's maybe 24 years old. And it still works. I have had to change the bellows out, but the main smoker still works. And so my dad got stung pretty good, brought him back in his old truck. And boy, they were not happy. But it was early October when I got them. It was a terrible time of the year, and I didn't inspect them. I just trusted that everything would be ready to go, like the guy said. And when I came out of winter, I only had 1 hive alive, and so that was a tough lesson to begin in beekeeping. And of course, a mouse was in one of them. But that 1 hive that was left was super strong. And of course, I had got a suit, and I had no mentor. And I got in there, and those bees roared at that first puff of smoke, and I just about ran back to the house. I didn't have anybody with me. And I eventually got through it, and I was just gloved up and duct taped around my shoes and everything like that. But I survived and shot a swarm off that spring. Thankfully, I caught it and made a little bit of honey at 1 super my first year, and then I purchased some packages too. And that was my first year in beekeeping. And not very glorious, but anyone who thinks that nobody's doing it worse than you are, I got some pretty good stories. I'd probably compete with how bad you can do things. Not as bad as Tom has, of course, but try what it is. Yeah, Mr. Hell has been with us like since day 1 almost, or really close. And he hasn't been very lucky, but he's stuck it out. I'll give him that. I'm not sure he's won anything. It seems like it's been a decade since we started the YouTube channel, and really it hasn't been but less than half that. Maybe a little more than half that, excuse me. And so we used to do all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And I wish we still do a giveaway every now and then. We gave away a vaporizer this year and a ticket or 2 to the Bee Expo. You know what? we probably need to do more of that kind of stuff. That seems to be pretty popular. We've done that with the Kentucky State Beekeepers Association. You know what? If a bee organization is, let's say, a state club's getting together and they're wanting to raise money for something, we'd probably be interested in throwing a ticket into each organization. So, not to the one Tom's working on.
I was gonna say, give us a call.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, have you ever thought about, if you wanted to boost some numbers, my initial thought would be a really great marketing tool would be you could probably give away a Hummer bee.
Give a Hummer bee. Just if you show up, you get in the running.
See, I mean,
Gosh,
you could hire me. I could probably come up with all sorts of good ideas for you.
I would maybe even consider being crooked and
They wouldn't be good, Cayman. They would not be good. I'm going to interject. Watch him. He's got some horse trader in him.
Oh, my
Throw
word.
into the deal if you live. Mess with him.
Well,
Listen, fella, I've never been on a horse in my life. How can I be a horse trader?
That's
people are just born that way.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You can be a horse trader without selling horses. But that being said, those Hummer bees, I will have mine at the show, and so that should be pretty interesting. If you want to check it out, I've just about got really comfortable with it. It takes a little bit of time, especially when you're moving bees. Like if I was just picking up regular pallets, I've run several forklifts before, but it's totally different when you've got double deep stacked on top of each other. And I haven't flipped any yet, but I've gotten close, and I don't want to do that. Let's see here. So one thing we've thought about doing is maybe having some type of, would be for next year, but having state or maybe big bee clubs put together a club buy for expo tickets and having some type of discount for that kind of thing. Obviously we'd have to start early. There's a lot of additional logistics where right now it's really simple. One price, you buy it. We don't have to really, that's really the most work that we do is just little things all day long. Like, hey, I accidentally purchased this workshop on Friday. I actually can't do it Friday. I need it on Saturday. Can you switch it for me? And we just get, I don't know, 10 of those a day. And Chris handles a lot of that, but we're also trying to create the event guide, customize lanyards, deal with companies that don't know how to use an app or a computer or a cell phone. And that is tricky.
I tell you what, those workshop tickets went quick. I was signing us up for the beginner microscope class and then the CSI one.
Mm-hmm.
I had 4 tickets in our cart, checking out, putting my credit card information. Thank God I looked over and the one class was gone out of my cart. Like it sold out while I was checking out. Because if I would have like just gone forward and not looked again, I would have bought tickets to the CSI class, but I wouldn't have been able to take it because I hadn't had the beginner class yet. So I was glad I looked over and then I had to like reconfigure everything.
I was like, Chris was like, yeah, here we go, Cayman. I'm like, oh no. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm just waiting for the emails and Facebook messages and the YouTube comments where someone's not happy because they didn't get what they wanted. And I'm in the wrong business if you don't like to let people down. I'm in the wrong business because we can do our best and we still let people down. And at this point, but we wanted to have so many more workshops available, but we weren't able to get the space for a couple of reasons. Primarily because they're remodeling some of the other areas too. They're going to be adding buildings on. It should not affect our conference at all, but they're going to have the carpets ripped up in the other areas, and they're working on it. They were planning on doing it in the rooms we're using the week that we were there, but then we purchased it and contacted and said, hey, no, we got to have these rooms. And so they've bumped it up to where it sounds like the carpet's going to be done actually beforehand. And so we'll have new carpet in the speaking rooms, which will be really nice, I hope. but we weren't able to get any extra rooms for more workshops. And then we've got to identify some more people too, because we've really run out of what Etienne and Kara and a lot of the other workshop folks can do, because they want to enjoy the show as well. And the microscope workshops are 2 hours a piece, and so if they're doing 3, that's 6 hours of the show.
Yeah.
Plus there's all the setup. That's the thing with the workshops, there's a ton of pre-work prepping, all the maybe scalpels, the slides, the tweezers, the hookups, checking everything and setting it. And then one microscopy class is looking at like nosema and pollen spores, and then the next one's actually looking at like different parts of the bee. And so that's a totally switch of that material, and I don't know all the details. I just know that there's logistics involved, and so it's a lot easier just to plug in a speaker and say, take it away.
So, Cayman, I have a question for you, and this might be a little bit premature, but it sounds like you guys are already thinking about next year and moving forward and such. Besides potentially making a group buy for clubs, which I think happens to be a fabulous idea. I bet you I could probably, on our club or the state side, could probably sell 150, 200 tickets alone with that. And I think that would work. I really do. So that's a fabulous idea. But what have you guys thought about that you would be willing to talk about or release, changes that you are going to make for the future? Because certainly on an ever-evolving conference, you guys have thought about details in the future that you are already wanting to change through trial and error and just adding value to it.
Well, so I mentioned the other day on my live chat that I'm gearing back down to 60 hives. So that's just so that we can help the expo get where it needs to be quicker. And I should have done it this year. Didn't happen. And so it'll happen this coming year. And the reason I say that is I want to really continue to grow this expo, and not just like on a numbers standpoint, like, hey, we got to hit 4,000 people next year. That's not the goal. Well, we'd like to see more people come, but I mean, grow as in make it better. And what I would like to do is extend it. We've talked about that in the past. I really want to make that happen in 2027 without adding a whole lot of expense to it. Honestly, I'd like to be able to offer what we're already offering. So the same thing at the same price. And so anyone who's like, you know what, I can't do Wednesday anyways, so I don't want to have to incur, any additional cost to that. So it'll probably be like a separate thing.
Yeah. And
so we're looking to have some more workshops and some more personal maybe early events that's not 3,000 to 4,000 people. Maybe it's more like 500.
Sure.
And a little bit more workshops, hands-on. So we're just looking at some unique experiences, something that's different from what we already offer, because that's probably the thing that we lack the most running a big expo is the personal feel to a degree. We still have some of that, but we don't have what we had when we were running 800 people.
Definitely.
And so we want to see if we can get some of that back for the people who want that. We also want to expand the workshops. I want to see that expand threefold next year over what we have this year. And, I know we have to charge for the workshops, but we're not making any money on those. We're actually probably investing $3,000 to $4,000 this year, just like we did last year. And that's fine. We make money in other ways at the expo, but there's just so many gadgets and gizmos, and a lot of the money goes into bringing more speakers in. And I have to hire some coordinators that are going in and putting down drop cloths for the candle making stuff, change things out. And so the more of that we do, though, and if we extend it over multiple days, that'll help me keep the price down, which is the goal. And I think we're doing pretty good. I've seen other microscopy classes go for $100 a piece. And so the goal is, again, to not make money off of those. It's just really try not to lose money too much on it.
Yeah.
And do something beneficial. So that's one thing. We are also looking at some more extra add-ons like a forklift rodeo outside or something like that. Seriously,
Yep.
I would love to have Hummerbee and maybe Eli Mendes with his bobcats that are made for moving bees around. Have those brought and have those guys. Hummerbee's done it, and so has Eli, and they've had these events, and it would be really cool to be able to have more stuff like that. And we're also looking at outside of the bee industry stuff that can relate. We don't want to water the trade show down, but we are considering, hey, what are things that really fit well with this? And all of this is going to be difficult and a little bit harder because it's easy. Like, okay, we've never done a workshop before. Well, that's an add-on. We've never done a honey bar. Let's add that on. But those things kind of fit really well. What we want to do is find some stuff that's really unique. Can we get Melissa to do a couple candle making classes, please? Can we, Melissa?
I tried. It was sold out. Sorry, Todd. No free reign for you and Tom at the expo.
So, but he was saying that he wants get her into a couple. I thought get Melissa to do a couple of them.
No, he wants me occupied so him and Tom can hang out by themselves unsupervised. With JW as their supervisor at the expo.
That's like the blind leading the blind.
Yeah,
that's like asking for trouble.
I would love to see that forklift rodeo too. See who could load the 100 beehives fastest, and
see who can
unload them and
get my insurance company to call me the fastest.
Yeah, I guarantee they would shoot that down in a hurry.
We've actually talked to him about it. With enough insurance, you can do anything, I think.
Yeah.
So we're going to look into having that. I definitely want to have some unique style of classes as well. This year, we're going to, again, have 3 lectures going. And we've gotten back to a little bit more panels. I think some people have missed a few of those.
Yeah.
And that's some of the feedback that we've had. So we want to get back to that. But we're considering next year having just 2 rooms doing it like what we're doing right now. And then having the other room as more of a creative room where it may be shorter sessions. And that's where we can get, it doesn't have to be a Bob Benny name. It doesn't have to be a Dr. Priya or a Dr. Frank or whoever. It could be one of you guys. And we get some more personalities that may be on the industry level as far as research goes and commercial side isn't prominent, but within the beekeeping community on YouTube, it is. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be fun to have some more of that. So that we didn't get it done this year, but we definitely are looking to have one room dedicated to a unique style of speaking that I've never seen before. And we've never done either. And so we're going to give it a shot, and it may be terrible. We'll find out. But that's definitely going to happen the next year because, you can only do so many lectures. We do have some new stuff. We have Maggie Gill coming in, giving some great presentations on Tropolay Labs and their latest research. Excited about that. We've got several other great talks. But, you can only talk about splits and queen rearing so many times and stuff like that. And I know there's always some new people like Eric who are getting into it. And so we'll have some of that stuff. But I think if we're going to have some of that, maybe that's where that room comes in, and we find some small queen producers that we can get up there and have a session or two. I want to find some unique ways of having more discussions that are more personal, to be honest. And the speaking, the lectures, 2 rooms of lectures is plenty, in my opinion. I think that's plenty. We built this thing on 1 room.
Yeah.
And so obviously that wasn't the cornerstone of the conference. Was not the lectures, because we had less than everybody when we started. The first 2 years was 1 room, then it was 2 rooms, and then we eventually moved to 3. But honestly, it's the personal aspects and it's the trade show. which the trade show was, I think, most popular because that's where all the personal interactions happen, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So we've got to get back to focusing on that. I think on the speaker side of things, how do we make those talks feel a little bit more personal? And the workshops really do a great job of that. We've had a really great response from that last year because everyone's like, oh, I loved it because it was more personal. But the problem is that candle making class only holds 25 people.
Yeah.
It's not a drop in the ocean.
I know. I couldn't get into it.
That's
Mike Berry.
Who is Mike Berry?
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
Yeah, never heard of that guy.
So, Cayman, something that you said that I thought you kind of hit the nail on the head, in my personal opinion. Melissa and I at our conference this year added a second day, and it's going to cater to an intermediate group as more of a practical beekeeping application. And basically, the short of it, it's going to be myself, Brian Zavada there, and Jim Masucci, who's a St. Louis native. He's the gentleman who had the development of the Nero product. I kind of sent you and Chris some of this information. Anyway, it's going to consist of that day 5 classes, 3 actual presentations, but 2 of those are going to be panel discussions. And that's kind of where I think you might have hit the nail on the head, where people at a smaller level can communicate with people that have just recently gone through, I don't want to say that struggle, but that area of expertise, if you will, where they are very, very fresh in their mind about maybe like that middle sideliner or how did you get from whatever that hobbyist of whatever to that sideliner, things like that. And then that allows the audience to participate and take it in a direction. You know, you could have some certain questions queued up, but they can take it in a direction where they want to learn. So that's kind of something that we're trying differently ourselves this year because we got a lot of good feedback in that direction. And honestly, we're pretty excited about bringing Brian in on this. I feel like he shines in these areas particularly.
You shine, Brian.
Just like a
light bulb.
Like the moonlight on a dark night, right?
Like the sky in the middle of nowhere, Colorado.
All right.
See, look at him shine. But
seriously though,
I know people would prefer that, and we had already had so much kind of stuff in the works. Some of the things I wanted to do this year just didn't quite work out, and where we're finding ourselves in a little bit of an interesting situation is we also have this demand from organizations and companies that want to present at our show, and we have a lot of individuals, and it's very flattering. It's every day. Yesterday, I had a PhD that was down. Yesterday, a PhD that Randy Oliver was talking to, and she reached out and wanted to speak. And I said, well, we're already pretty much full. And then Randy Oliver wanted to speak, and we did have one spot in my back pocket. And Randy Oliver wants to come on Thursday and give a lecture. So we're going to get him in. And there's a balance, right? Because there's different groups of people that come to the show. And there's some people, they see Dr. Cameron Jack or Dr. Jamie Ellis, and they see Randy Oliver, and they see some of these academics, and they just, oh my. And I don't know anybody like that personally, but there are some people like that. And there's some people, it's like, oh, Bob Benny, please, would you sign an autograph on my chest? I'll never wash it, I swear. Thankfully, that's never happened to Bob. I would love to see Bob's reaction to it, though.
JW only did that one time. We don't need to talk about it.
Oh. But all jokes aside, so there's different people that come to the show. And so as showrunners and thinking about that, we have to have, because we've had people comment, oh man, you know, it's the good old boys club. You know, Bob is a really good friend of mine, but we also have to think who's helping us sell tickets to the event. Bob Benning, he sells tickets.
Yeah.
We couldn't get rid of Bob if we wanted to. Yeah. The uprising would just be too much, and that'd be it. I can survive my buddy doing what he did and going through a lawsuit. I don't think I could survive a breakup with Bob Benning.
Yeah, that would be a tough one. I get it.
That would be a tough one. That Cayman Reynolds, he's bad news. Yeah, it's over.
You shut your conference down single-handedly.
Right.
So we have these things that we're trying to cater to, and we're also trying to be responsible as the biggest show in North America and one of the biggest in the world. We feel like we do need to be able to have some of the best talks on the cutting edge stuff like AAA laps, and we also have some good research, and there's some industry stuff, and there's some commercial guys that want to come, and we'd like to have a thing or two for them. So just trying to balance all that out and find what works. We're not perfect with it. We're just kind of figuring it out as we go.
Mhm.
But I think the number one thing that we need to do is ensure that the personal feel is always the top priority. And so I want to get back to that because I think that's what made us. And
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. That is exactly what took this thing off the ground during a COVID crisis, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. And then even to this day, there's a lot of live chats like this one. And a lot of the same people that'll watch Joey will watch Saltmill Charlie, and they'll pop into mine or Greg Burns or somebody else's. And so that, oh, do you not know I was on a live chat? Surprise. I just hadn't had one in a few days, so I was feeling down.
Hey, you can mute it if you're getting scolded.
She just said, you always could talk to me. You want to talk bees?
Hey, tell Laurel to come on here. We want to talk to her. We don't.
Yeah, they want you. Come on, Laurel. Where are you going?
Hey, Melissa needs another female on this chat.
Yeah, but Melissa's like tougher than all the rest of us combined, though. So we're still at a disadvantage, I think. Speaking of,
notice she was the only one working while we're on this chat. She's got her computer in front. Everyone else is not. My question for you came in. Obviously, the honey bar was an inspiration from Appomondia. What other kind of inspirational things did you observe seeing that conference?
I was inspired that they're not paying most of their speakers. I'm like, man, I could save $50,000 a year in speaker fees. I don't think they're doing many hotels, so you could even add more than that. But the difference is, though, it's a totally different conference than ours. Most of the people that speak there are getting sent by their universities to represent the research their university has done. And while there were some really good lectures, most of it's boring as heck. And some of the stuff that's maybe not even boring just isn't something that could help your business, my business, any of our businesses, or our hobby, even if it's not a business.
It's not practical.
It's just like, well, we've done some research on microplastics, and yes, there are microplastics in the beehive. And then it's like, well, was there any negative effects? Well, we haven't researched that part yet. Tune in next time. And they're 20-minute lectures at Appomondia. There's a few that are longer than that, but they're pretty much 20 minutes. And
Tom can't even get a sentence out in 20 minutes, much less the whole lecture.
I can't even
20 minutes.
Hi, I'm Cayman Reynolds in under 20 minutes. And so it was pretty wild to see that. So it's very academically based. And so I prefer our model because our goal is to get people like Eric in and to maybe get him some information that's going to help him keep his bees alive and be more successful quicker than I was able to, which I did not have access to any of this information at all. I really struggled. And I see so many beekeepers that are doing stuff in their third year that I wasn't doing in my 7th or 8th year. And so that's really exciting to see. And we need more of that. So that's our goal. And also there's a certain side of it where, Bob Benny is an inspirational person. And so not just in beekeeping, but just as a person, I think we all could be a little bit more chill like Bob and all that. And when we get upset or don't like somebody, just say, well, what did Bob say the other day? He said, that person's so crooked, he had to screw his pants on in the morning.
Even his insults are very nice.
I know.
Insult you and you feel like he was casting love at you, right?
I know. It's so, but there's some of that too. And we need to have exciting figures in the bee industry. And I actually got a complaint a little bit earlier today. Somebody was upset because, and it wasn't even a picture I put up. It was one that Lawrence Edwards put up, and it had Mr. Red, Frederick Dunn.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Himself and other.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
There and there's a girl that's like, well, where are all the girls at? And or something like that. I'm like, we had girl speakers that year, and we do this year. But I'm like, I didn't pick any of the girl speakers this year because they were girls. I picked them because I thought they had something really interesting to contribute to the show.
Yeah.
And that's male, female doesn't enter the equation. It's just like who's got the best stuff we can find. And my favorite thing I'm looking forward to as far as speakers is Maggie this year coming to the show. But like I commented, we didn't pick her because she was a female. We picked her because she has some really important information we need. And I think she does a great job presenting too. Yeah. And so that, for whatever reason, there's a lot more YouTubers that are guys in beekeeping. There are several girls, and I've been observing a few of them to a degree, but I have to be careful observing these girls too much. Laura will come in the room, and it's a dangerous game to be watching one of these girls, because one video they're in a bee suit, the next they're in a sports bra, and then I'm a dead man. It's a risk I just can't take. But all jokes aside, I'm looking for people who are really fundamentally based, not off the wall. I'm not one of those guys that believes in energies coming from the planet Jupiter that's helping all this energies and in and out frequencies. There may be some of that stuff, but I've spent enough time in agriculture and beekeeping that there are so many wackadoodles. And, well, Tom's a wackadoodle of a different sort, though. He's a heck. That's a different kind.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, it's a good thing. You're not the really crazy type. But seriously, when I was in ag as a kid, there'd be people talking about taking this type of mushroom and this type of manure from a bowl on a certain moon phase, grinding it up with some certain types of minerals and crystals, putting it in a bull horn, sticking it in the ground, and then coming back X amount of months later, and that would be enough inoculant to inoculate like 20 acres with a certain frequency that would help mineral absorption or some bull crap like that.
Wow.
And these people exist, and we have them in beekeeping too. And even within areas that are not like just a Facebook group or a bee source, we also have companies that are producing products, and I'm testing one out right now, and they're supposed to do all these amazing things by just adding it to your sugar syrup.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I've used a lot of products, like all of them almost. And there's very few I can visibly go, yeah, this worked. Like I can think of maybe one or two. And the rest of them, it's like, that maybe did some good. And I think maybe the best quote I've heard in a while was from Brett 80. They run like 80,000 hives. And he's like, if I need a statistician to know if it's making a difference in my bee yard, it's just not worth my time.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel about anything that we do with the Bee Expo. We want to be really careful and not bring up a bunch of nuts. Corey Stevens is about as crazy as we're willing to go. And, even within that, I have a lot of kickback from some people who are very anti-treatment free. And I get where they're coming from. But there are some people like Corey who I really believe are putting in the work.
Yeah.
And so we want to have that discussion, but we're not interested. There's several people like, why do you bring these treatment-free folks? I'm like, because they're off the deep end, and there are irrational treatment-free beekeepers where it's just like, everyone just stop treating now.
Yeah.
You're the problem. Don't treat ever again, and everything will just work itself out. Never feed a drop of sugar syrup again. Let's just all hold hands with nature and get eaten by a bear. That's what would really happen. But
yeah.
So that there's a good section of the industry that would like to see that. But hey, if we can get all next year great lectures from girls, if that's where they're all coming from, then we're going to have all girls. But there's not a lot of girl YouTube channels compared to the guy YouTube channels right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one thing. And what I'm shooting for primarily when I'm looking for somebody that is a YouTuber is who's someone who can get thousands, hopefully tens of thousands or more eyeballs on my show. And then if I'm going to ask them to speak, am I asking them to speak just because they have a YouTube channel or because they actually have something helpful?
That's
And
right.
so I'm not trying to be mean. We have some guys that have spoke, and we don't ask them to speak as much anymore. We've kind of chilled a little bit with Bob the last year or two, not asked quite as much from him. And Randy McCaffrey doesn't speak every year.
Mm-hmm.
He does a really good job on cutouts, but we also have to get some fresh people in. But we want to have Randy back. He's been with us every single conference.
Mm-hmm.
So we would hate to never have Randy, and he's got a massive following too. There's a lot of people that have gotten into beekeeping because they've watched Mr. Ed or Randy or JP do a cutout, and I don't get those types of viewership on my channel at all. Nobody. See, I'm weird, but I'm not like Randy McCaffrey level weird. And I thank goodness I don't live where he does. It looks way too hot. Every time I see Randy McCaffrey, he looks like he's lost half my body weight in sweat.
You're not wrong.
And I'm just like, man, I hope whatever they're paying him, they're giving him a lot. But they do. Some of those guys make really good money doing those cutouts. I would love to have. Next year, this is what we need to do. We need to have a panel of someone like Randy McCaffrey, Josh Hager, and find people that are doing really. Josh Hager does a lot of like premium Nashville sales, and then we could get some other people who are along those lines. That's not the traditional ways of making money in beekeeping,
Mm-hmm.
and just have multiple different people. There's a lady I know who makes a lot of money from just having bees on skyscrapers in like New York City. And so I think maybe having a panel discussion of, hey, this is different ways that you can be successful. It's not all, go make a bunch of honey, throw it in a bottle and slap a label and go to a farmer's market. There is some of that too, but there's other ways. So
yeah, little niche markets that you can use as a value add potentially.
Diversification.
Those categories of beekeepers don't really apply to everybody. That idea of hobbyist, sideliner, commercial. I pay my bills by being a beekeeper, but I don't put my bees on any vehicle and move them to another place. So I've come up with this phrase: I'm a full-time, small-scale beekeeper, because I'm not a sideliner. It's not my sideline. But I'm also not a commercial beekeeper. I don't do what commercial beekeepers do.
And I don't either. And people have called me a commercial beekeeper multiple times. I'm like, guys, I don't do any of that stuff. I mean, I kind of think there should be a category called professional beekeeper, maybe. And that's, I think that would probably kind of umbrella anyone who's maybe doing cutouts or what you're doing or what I'm doing, which after this year, I won't be a professional beekeeper. Really. I've got about just a little under 300 hives right now, and I'm going to be selling a bunch off this spring. So this is your mid-video ad on Joey's channel on where you can buy some bees. If you're coming through Tennessee, the greatest stock. We'll put some mean Corey Stevens, some gentle in there. So I'm going to be with Corey for like 4 days, in about a week and change. Have you guys ever spent that much time with Corey Stevens before, just like one-on-one?
Not that much time. We spent a full day together, maybe a day and a half, but that's about the extent.
It's rough.
Well, he's a Missouri hillbilly, so there's that.
Well, there is that, but honestly, you quickly realize that Corey's a pretty smart guy, and it's annoying because his face and his mannerisms really don't add up with that at all. And like something's just not right here. And but I like to nerd out about bees, but Corey's like, it's unhealthy, all this genetics. Oh yeah, and this foundress mite over here, and we were going through and pulling out 300 of this and using this type of hygienic test and this Harbo assay and this, and I'm just over there deer in the headlights, like trying to pretend like I know what he's talking about. And of course, I pull it off. He thinks I'm smart.
It takes people of all kinds, right?
Think about poor Jamie and what she has to go through.
Man, Jamie doesn't take any prisoners.
No, she doesn't.
We were in Appomondia, and I knew Corey was there, and I've been looking for him. But the problem of it is, I'm in tall people country. I mean, the Scandinavian area, all the guys are like 6'2" or higher. And so I can't find squat unless I'm right on top of it. And I searched the first day and a half for Corey, and I could not find him. And then I finally ran into him because he just happened to be by the entrance. And I was like, Corey, he's like, Cayman. And then Jamie's like, yeah, you guys can't be talking a long time. We're going to go see some stuff. Wait. And they were gone like a fart in the wind. Yeah. And I never saw Corey again the rest of the show. She wanted to go see some stuff, and whether Corey wanted to or not, they were going to go see some stuff.
Right.
But the pictures did look really cool. But I guess the last thing I'll say about Appomondia, there was some neat things to observe. A lot of it was on the operational side of stuff. And some, they are bigger than us in some ways. We're bigger than them in other ways. And so it was neat to see their signage and kind of how they did some of their branding. The vendors, though, I've said this before, it's an international conference. And so you have a lot of guys that are trying to sell tanker loads worth of honey from their country to some buyer. So I don't enjoy that. And you look at it and like, is this real honey? And it may be. I don't know. That's just not my cup of tea. And there's a lot of companies that are selling the same knickknacks, and they're always coming from Pakistan or China, just same thing over and over again. And there was multiple knockoffs of the instant bat vaporizer, which I hate that stuff. We had to release a video about that, telling anybody that was selling a knockoff version of the instant bat, they were going to be kicked out of the show this year. There's a lot of things that you don't have to knock off. Like, Joey could go make an extractor tomorrow. There's no patents on extractors. They've been around long enough. Unless it's like a unique design that someone's patented recently, which I'm not aware of, you can go make an extractor and bring it to my show. No problems. But the Instant Vap has multiple patents on it. And people are knocking them off. And there's already been some people. There's one in case of a person getting injured in Canada with one of the knockoffs, because these are high pressured machines. And so they're not screwing them in tight enough and they're blowing off. And now you got shrapnel flying. So
yeah,
the trade show, there was a couple of vendors I wanted to bring in, but there really wasn't a lot of things I want to implement. They don't sell anything at their show. I wasn't too excited about really a whole lot of their speakers. It was more of an operational thing. The honey bar was really cool. We want things that are kind of neat like that. But I think we're going to have to really come up with some ideas on our own. And honestly, this feedback today has been really good. I think we've got to get back to some more personal stuff. But that kind of thing can be hard. So
yeah.
Didn't you say Boris was going to be there?
So I got to give credit to Mike Berry for that. Mike Berry has been the proverbial squeaky wheel to Boris. And you got to say it like Boris. And he talks very much like you'd expect a Boris to talk. But he is coming, and he is going to be bringing a limited amount of his lifters and supplies.
Okay, great.
And I did look it up. It's 7% off at the show and no shipping. So,
is that the gentleman that builds the hive lifters like you have, Joey?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. And he's from Canada, or am I wrong?
He is in Canada.
Okay.
And His lifts are nice. Mike really likes his. Mine's really nice, but my Hummerbee's kind of supplanted some of that a little bit to a degree. But it also is really helpful when you're picking up just some supers, though.
Yeah.
I think it's a great box lifter.
That's where it comes in. That's where it really shines, is lifting boxes.
Yeah, those honey supers. That's
Yep.
really that's the only time of the year that my back is just like I can't hardly sleep. My back's hurting me so bad is when I'm working, like I'm pulling honey supers off and on of hives that are full. And that sucker will do 4 mediums, no problem. And if I'm on unlevel ground, I'll drop it down to 3.
Mhm.
So I have a little more control. But it's a great unit. Sound like someone's outside. Hey, Laurel, somebody outside.
Hey,
Grab the shotgun.
Well, I'm excited, and Lawrence has that one talk on using social media to promote your business. I'm excited about that talk. I'm excited about the apitherapy talks as well. That's one of those categories that's definitely a bit of a fringe category, and you hear a lot of anecdotal stuff about it, but hearing some science-based information on the benefits of how bee products can help with human health was something that I could definitely use some education on.
Same here.
Yeah.
And I talked to Charles Mraz's grandson yesterday, and he reached out to me. I forgot about that. He reached out to me a couple of days ago wanting to speak, and I wish he had reached out to me 6 months ago or 2 months ago for that matter. But all that being said, we're very anxious to also incorporate these other organizations, whether this is their only event or whether it is a secondary event for them. We are not trying to swallow up and take over anybody's organization. What we want to do is like the apitherapy stuff. I know just enough to be dangerous. I want more of that at the show. I want it to be a yearly staple, because if it is of merit, it needs to be consistent every year when you have some of that. And so if we could get the therapy folks to hold an event or hold their event at our show, I think it might be beneficial for both parties. And that's what we've talked to them about. We have one of their folks, Christine, speaking this year at the show. So we hope to make a good impression and not scare them off. So Joey, best not talk to her. And I would love to have the apitherapy there to where on our end, we get something of value, educationally speaking. And on their end, I hope that they find it valuable that there's 3,000 something plus people that are now being able to have access to that. So adding that, I'd love to have the American Beekeeping Research Conference at our show as well, which is basically all the researchers from the USDA, Jeff Pettis, maybe he's retired, but I think he's still a part of it. Jamie Ellis, basically all of them. And so we could have a whole research side as well. And for anyone who wants that, I just want to have all of the things. And I was thinking about it. How is Appimondia able to bring in 7,000 people? But it was a different group of people, and they're internationally based, right? They're pulling from all these different countries, and people weren't there to buy product. The only people I saw that were ready to buy product were Americans. I guess that's just what we're good at, is buying stuff.
Yeah.
But there was a couple people that had come to my show, and they stopped me and said hello. And she's like, I can't believe they're not selling anything here. I got myself an extra big old bag I brought with me and paid for it and everything. They're here and back, and nobody's selling nothing. And they were pretty ecstatic. They thought they had a pretty good American turnout, and they had about 300 Americans out of 7,000 people. But there wasn't a lot of American stuff. It just really was. Everything was very, very European. And lots of polystyrene stuff, lots of anti-plastic stuff, which I'm not saying that's bad, but the problem of it is a lot of that's not very uniform. It's like I've got my system over here, and then there's this system over here, and this is a round frame, and this is a perfectly square frame, and now we got the primal hives, and that's a skyscraper frame. And I know that will you have hats available yet? Yeah, we will definitely have some hats available at the show. Next year we're planning on actually having a company to ship them out beforehand, and we didn't get it done this year, but we're going to start early, probably when tickets go up for sale, and just have all the new merch out. People can order it as they want to, have it shipped to them, and they can wear it at the expo that way. And it's less work that we have to do at the show and less staff for me to have. Oh, 21st bee hat.
Ouch.
Carry over from last
Man.
night.
Hey, real quick. So after all Tom's whining and crying about hats and trucker hats, I bought you a hat today, Tom. I'm going to ship it to you.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm out of here. I seen that on the internet
And it's
today or yesterday.
got your trucker kind events on it. So when I get back, it's going in the mail to you so you can stop crying.
I would wear that thing with pride.
I'm sure you would.
Absolutely.
So,
I spent real money on it, so you better at least wear it one time.
Yeah, and in one of these chats.
so funny
Jamie-
thing with that is he brought a frame in that had a little bit of honey in it and some pollen in it, and he threw it in the freezer and froze it. This is like a couple months ago, right? And it got taken out of the freezer. It had been in there for God only knows how long. And then it just got set down in the basement on top of a hive box. And I was cleaning something up, or I walked by it the other day. I'm like, what the heck? There was wax moths. Like, they found it after, like, there were wax moths crawling all in it. So then he takes it over to my what do you call my area over there? My nerd lab.
Yeah.
My nerd lab, and bangs all these
Not very
wax
nice.
moths onto my table and starts picking through them.
I can't believe you would say something like. Actually, I can believe you would say something
I
like
know.
that, Tom. What a piece of work.
So it's over there where I make all the candles and
It's her-
soaps and all
It's a
that
nerd
stuff.
factory.
Nerd factory.
It's a nerd
That's
factory.
right. That's right. Nerd factory. Lip balm.
Cayman, what you need to do is
Whoa.
get all your big shots to sign like this and auction it off.
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot on there. That's
Yes, he does.
impressive how full that is.
Yeah.
That took a minute to do.
Yeah. Well, if I'd have known that some of those other guys were going to sign that hat, I want to put my signature on it. I'm just kidding.
You valued it.
Someone said, how about how to be a good YouTuber? Well, it depends on who you ask. Some people say there's no such thing.
Yeah, depends on who you ask.
But really to be a good YouTuber is not to be what I've been the last year or so. You got to post consistently and take the time to really plan out some good content. It takes a lot of work to be very successful with it. And what the frustrating part is you'll put in a lot of work, and it's harder now than it was 5 or 6 years ago. So that's what I've told several people who've gotten discouraged very early on. I'm just like, hey, I was lucky. I got in at a good time. There wasn't near the competition there is now. I wasn't competing against Bob Benny for views at that time when I got in. There were still some good people on there, though. Paul Kelly had his stuff. He wasn't posting every week. So that was nice. And there was, Devin Ron, he stopped doing videos, and Devin did some really great videos. And so, but you got to be consistent. And I guess it's, why are you doing it for? There's a lot of different angles on why to have a YouTube or social media account like that. And I think a lot of people think ad revenue, and that's good too. But if you have other ways of selling products outside of, if you have products to sell and you're not just going for YouTube revenue. Oh, see you, Randy. Get some sleep, Mr. East Coast early bed. He's got to wake up early. Randy's one of those early bird guys. But the YouTube, you can be simple shorts, And that can go a long ways. For example, I talked to the American Honey Producers Association. They're the biggest commercial group. And I told them, I said, hey, just do some short videos. And Anne Marie's done a great job doing that. They don't have to be really fancy if your goal is not to just go for ad revenue. And she had one of those videos that's gotten tens of thousands of views. And it was a short 45-minute video.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had to pay for that kind of advertising, that would be a lot of money. We've never paid for Bee Expo advertising. I've had some posts like, hey, the expo's going live, tickets on sale now. People share it, and there'll be 80,000 people that have seen it. That doesn't mean they all engaged. So that's one of the reasons why you should take the time, I think, a lot of people, to do a social media account, because you don't necessarily have to be getting the ad revenue. It could just be YouTube Shorts, Facebook Shorts, 6-second videos. Hi, it's Brian Zavada here with Flower Street Farm. And did you know, yada, 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 45 seconds later, they've learned something interesting about honeybees or about honey or nutrition, whatever. And Brian didn't have to spend 8 hours editing that because he doesn't have that kind of time, number one.
Or skills.
Or skills. I don't either. And that's why you'll never see one of my videos that looks like that. And then on top of that, not only does he not have the skills, but you have to buy the software for it. And then how much money are you going to make on that video? In beekeeping, you're not going to make hundreds of dollars a video, and unless you're getting, if you're getting like $400 off of a video, you've probably got around 100,000 views or more. Mm-hmm. And it depends on the ad too. It really depends on the ad. I've only had a few videos get to that level. I've never had one of the videos like some of the other guys that have gotten to 1 million views or more. I think my biggest one has a few 100,000, which I'm thankful we don't put out that content like Randy McCaffrey does, where he's just showing off all the time. We try to be a little bit more professional, and I don't get up on a ladder to show off.
Yeah, he's not humble at all, that guy. He's, all about the show.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Well, and truly, though, Yappy and those guys, it's a totally different genre of it, and it really needs to be done, and they do a good job. But I'm going to pick on them anyways because I can, and they're not here to argue with me. So, but I think everybody needs to be. It's 2025. This is not going away. This is going to become more and more important for businesses. And the nice thing about YouTube, TikTok, and all that, whether you like it or not, you can use it for free. And now Brian Zavada, Michael, any of you guys can be getting a lot of engagement. But the shorts, that's where it's the easiest to build a brand. And that's why you've seen Texas Bee Works. Almost all of her stuff is shorts. And you see that with a lot of them because you're not going to get rich doing beekeeping videos off of YouTube. You can't provide for your family doing it unless you're some type of wizard. But you can market the heck out of your honey, your branding, whatever you're trying to do, maybe bee classes or your conference, Bee Expo, or any of those things with a free 60-second video.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tom, hold the camera and let Melissa get to work.
I don't usually take a lot of time to make videos. We have recorded a little bit of stuff that we had intention of putting up. It never happens, and it's never been a focus of mine,
Well, like you said, it's so time consuming, editing those long videos and, putting everything together.
You don't do them. I've got 100 hours of videos like that no one will ever see, or unless I just get bored. And some of it's great content. It's just, I know I'm going to
you'll do it when things slow down in the winter, but then it doesn't slow down.
You pick something else up in the Slack. So.
But I'm going to spend 6 hours editing it, and I'm going to make $80 on it.
Yeah.
And then
that's not a good return on your investment right there.
And I hate doing it. So.
You've spoken a bit about YouTube, but for us, Instagram and Facebook have been a pretty important part of our business as far as connecting with customers. as we find customers at the market, we always encourage them to follow us.
Mhm.
And we're connecting with them about products we'll have back in stock or special events that we'll be going to. So it's been a great communication piece for us to get our word out to our regular customers and future customers as well. I didn't have social media. I didn't have Facebook account or Instagram until I was 47 years old. And I had to have a buddy sit me down and explain to me what a hashtag was. That's how all in I was into social media, but it has been essential. When we sign up for events, they want to know what our Instagram and Facebook handles are, because they want to know that we're advertising that event out to the community as well.
You're 100% right. I haven't learned how to use those, but those are also extremely effective if used appropriately. And one of the things that I've seen that's actually been a little frustrating, a lot of you guys have seen it, whether you realize it or not, if you're on Facebook, and it definitely happens on Instagram too, and you have these Chinese guys or gals, whoever's running it, and they have different pages, and one's called Beekeeping Canadians and Beekeeping USA folks, whatever, and they don't even make their own content. They just go and find somebody else's stuff, and like, here's a fascinating photo, and sometimes it's not necessarily wrong, sometimes it's just free information for anybody to use, but they are constantly posting that stuff, and then people are like, wow, that's really neat. And then sometimes it's false information, but then they don't care because they're all about the traction. Like, oh, we got 200 people telling us that we're idiots. That really boosts the analytics.
Yeah.
And so those guys have these huge followings just for that. And I don't fully understand why they're doing that. I wonder if they're eventually going to turn those into like a platform to sell stuff, some Chinese equipment or whatever like that. And they already have the following, but
some of those places like that, they'll misspell something on purpose.
Yeah.
And it makes people comment on their misspelling, not knowing they're helping the channel when you're just, making fun of them for misspelling.
Somebody crashed.
JW fell out of his chair. I knew it. Maybe he's getting the microphone ready and getting his dog, so they're going to be doing some singing here before long.
But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of dishonesty in those social media places, and we've taken a few different courses on how can we spruce up our YouTube channel or get more clicks and stuff, and most of them are tactics like that. They're very dishonest, and so we don't like that, and that's why we don't get the 2 million views. But we've seen other YouTubers, and we don't see this much anymore, but they'll just be like, it'll be a complete clickbait, and there's nothing related to that whatsoever, or just purposely argumentative just to get the clicks, and we're not for that. We want to get people who are just average beekeepers, who aren't looking for that snake oil or that secret trick that really does not exist, and so we don't get as many views for that. But ultimately, I think it's served us pretty good, because as we've gone to do more content with other people, and then the expo and the people that I work with on a daily basis, we're not dealing with crooks and cronies and snake oil people. We're dealing with average beekeepers and good folks, and I think that's really helped our conference, because I don't want the personalities to be a bunch of bums, to be honest. And there's a lot of them. I mean, sure, some guys like Bob Benny's one of the guys that's really high on the totem pole. Bob's like at the top. You put a little crown on top. But there's a lot of people who maybe aren't on the billing. But, people walk around and they know Tom and Melissa, and they know Joey, and several know Michael now because he keeps hopping into these groups, and no one's running him off yet. So, and there's a lot.
Keep cutting my Wi-Fi.
And a lot of people know Mike Berry, even though we haven't had him as a speaker, and that's something I've thought maybe we do in the future, if I could talk Mike into doing it. And Brad Hogg and Brian, I'd like to be that's again where we'd have that different room where we again can get more people like that involved. But there's a lot of people like that are well known, and so we've got a great thing all the way from the top. I would consider Bob Benny one of those, all the way down to the Joeys of the world, the very bottom. Um, I can't help
Yep.
there's a lot of great people at the show, and that if we ever lose that, I think we'll just continue to go backwards. And so we'll try to avoid it. We've got a lot of nice people in the comments too, and Hell Hives, he's heard everything I have to say. I'll have some new stuff every now and then, but he knows pretty much the stupid stuff I'm going to say and what we're all going to say. A lot of these people just are here for the community aspect of it, and
Yeah, agreed.
so that can't be undervalued. A lot of those are AI driven, yeah, and that is super frustrating too. A lot of AI bullcrap, and Facebook keeps pushing that on our group. Like we'll turn it off, and then after about 3 months, it'll turn it back on again, and give us a different version. Here, use this AI, and it'll ask some stupid question. And,
Cayman, since I've been watching you, I've learned a ton from your videos. Hey, Bob. I've also learned other YouTubers from you, people like Ian, people like Bob, people like Gus Mitchell that have provided me education. But then there's a totally different level to it. You go to your conference and then you get to meet all these folks on the chat, all these folks, in the side. And those have been resources for me beyond you or Bob or Gus or Ian that I've been able to call up and have conversations with. And I can call Melissa because I know she's really good at organizing. And if I have an organizational question, I can call her, and I can call Bill at Shenandoah because he was the president of Virginia State for a while and ask him specific questions. I can call different people for different reasons. And that's
So
all
valuable.
because I've met them from that community that you've built at your conferences. So the level of influence is many fold.
Well, thank you for crediting our expo, but honestly, like I said, we just put the party on, and everybody shows up, and thankfully we have so many good leaders and good people. Yes,
But it's the culture that you foster as well that we bring into this chat, that idea of sharing information and being open and honest. And that idea is you get better if you uplift other people. Like that spirit is not in every conference. You can put people in a room together, but having that vibe in that room makes a huge difference in getting them to talk to each other.
Absolutely.
That was the goal. It was, and unfortunately, it isn't always like that. And it, I kind of get it. Back in the '60s and '70s, it was a totally different time. You had all these boomers, and they were working hard because they had lived without so much stuff when they were younger, and they just had all of that in the back of their minds. And beekeeping was easy before Varroa and all that stuff. In comparison, there were still some issues, but it was a lot easier. And it got furiously competitive in those days. And everyone just started hoarding information to themselves because it was just so competitive. It hasn't been like that ever since Varroa. And less and less of that as we've lost a lot of beekeepers. We have a totally different mindset in the United States versus what we did a generation or so ago. And it's kind of natural in some ways. It's not always good, but we are all so wealthy, whether we feel it or not. A lot of us will say, no, I'm broke. But we don't have the same mentality that the people from that were born in the 30s and 40s have. We just don't. And
like
we don't
back in the 70s and maybe even the 60s, every farm had bees on it. Everybody was a beekeeper. It wasn't a hobby. It was just a thing. They had them for their farm.
Well, and the way people thought back then, especially a lot of my generation, not so much for some of you all, but especially my generation, it probably started with my parents' generation, where people started doing a lot more things just for strictly fun. A hobby, like hobby gardening, hobby this, cutesy type stuff.
Yeah.
And where back then, even if you had only 5 hives of bees, you still kind of ran it more of a business mindset. We're here to keep bees to make honey. And we're keeping bees not just for the sake of the environment or any of these other things. We're here because beekeeping provides a good sweetener for us. And yes, it is healthier, but we're also doing this to supplement the income. We're doing this because maybe we got some crops that need pollinated. The bees are part of the farm, or they're part of our success. And we have this culture now where people are like, well, that's just, you're abusing the bees. How dare you do this or how you do that? And there's a lot of people that they don't maybe think that way, but we have a lot of people in beekeeping who it's just strictly for fun, and they don't think about this as a business mindset at all. And I personally discourage that. Not to where I'm going to be mean and run you out of beekeeping, but I think so many people do themselves a disservice because they just want to keep it light and fun, and trying to do that is very difficult. You need to take this seriously, and it doesn't have to be like, oh man, we're going to go make money with our bees. But the goal should be we want to be successful. And I think that's what's different now is it's harder to keep bees now than it ever has been, and we have more people that are less serious about the success side and running it like a business. Because a lot of people hear that running it like a business, and that's just such a negative thing.
Yeah.
But whether you like it or not, if you're able to run bees successfully as a business, you're good at what you do, and you got some healthy bees. You cannot make money with bees with unhealthy bees. And so the fundamentals will get you there. But that's the type of demographic we're more and more working with. And they need a lot of help because they're not going to survive the hardships of losing bees for 3 or 4 years because they halfway did it. And that was me. I would not consider myself successful in beekeeping until I was 10 years in. And some of that was being a teenager, but a lot of that was just not having access to any of the right sources of information. I was going into all the wrong places. And so a few years in, I'm like, well, I haven't had success. I'm going to try this treatment-free stuff. And I just completely lost my shirt because I didn't do that right either. Those treatment-free sources I was getting at that time were they're no good. Now we do have some people that are actually backing it up with some data and are actually breeding and doing some things a little bit better. I've personally never had success with that. We've tried several things. I haven't had success with it at all. I've had several buddies that have done it and haven't had any success. But I've got buddies like Corey, and I can go and visit his place, and I know that he's doing it for real.
But it's taken him a long time to get there.
It's taken him a whole lot of work to get there.
Yeah. That's what, like, Tom and I have discussed that multiple times. Like, I feel that new beekeepers trying to automatically go treatment free, like, that's just going to cause them so much heartache because they don't have enough education about the bees to begin with. And then there's just so many variables you can't control, right? So it's almost something, I don't know, just kind of feel like treatment free is something you can strive for and grow into, but not really something that you're probably not going to be really successful at right off the bat.
And you could arguably say that being a treatment-free beekeeper requires more effort and work than the other.
Yeah, and it really depends to a degree. There is some variables. I've talked to Mr. Ed several times and Randy McCaffrey, but they live in totally different areas than what 90-something% of beekeepers live in.
They have so many brood breaks because of swarming, and their season lasts so long. Like, it's a whole different game down there where they are.
They don't have harsh winters. They have longer flows than I have in Tennessee. So you have better nutrition. You have less winter stress. And
we had 29 degrees for a couple of hours the other day.
You had what now?
29 degrees.
Oh, poor baby.
Did you break out the winter coats and gloves?
It lasted 2 hours.
Almost. Oh my goodness!
2 hours in a row, Joey?
Yeah.
In a row?
Yeah.
And
How
so,
did you ever survive?
and so there's some variables there for sure, and there are some bees that are resistant, and there are some areas that it's just plain and simple easier to keep bees alive.
Mhm.
I've been to those places. They're producing pollen in November. They're producing pollen earlier in the year. And so if you can combine some resistance, and some people's ways of keeping bees are different. Some people let their bees swarm all the time. Um, and so a lot of people that I know that are treatment free, that are successful, that aren't like hardcore like Corey, they catch a lot of swarms.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, yeah, but if someone lives in an area where they can't catch swarms like that, they're at a net negative if they're losing their own bees. And some of them are splitting too. And there's a couple guys that I know that are doing it, and they're treatment free, but they sell like 3 nukes per hive a year. And they're selling a lot of brood out of those colonies, which is selling off some of the mites. So I'm not saying that doesn't work. That's why we always bring in guys like Adrian Quiney to the conference. I've talked to Adrian. He does a really good job with his bees, and he has systems in place. Corey has systems in place.
That's
but
me. I mean, I'm 14 years treatment free, but I have a very particular system and methodology, and it's a lot of work. And it took me a good
Secret.
You there, Michael?
He's been thwarted by the hotel Wi-Fi again.
Wow. See, he starts talking about how.
You guys kick me off.
Oh, okay, Michael. You said something. It took me X amount of.
Oh, so I tell new people too, don't start that way, because you've got to learn how to make bees and be more efficient with it. It took me a good 7 years to get everything to kind of stabilize out my yard where I wasn't losing, 70, 80, 90%.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a whole system. The way I do it's way different than a lot of people, and it's a lot of work. And it's definitely not for everybody. And the way I do it, I don't think you could do it at scale, like large scale. There's just too much labor involved in it. Which, like now,
But there is a way to do it.
Yeah, now I've got it to where I basically can crack a lid once a month, and that's all I do to them for the most part. But I've got a certain system as the flow comes in, certain things I do to them, and if I don't do those, I'm in massive trouble every year. So I can do it, but it's a pain in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a lot of work.
And the biggest problem I have is there's a certain percentage, and this is in every industry, where beekeeping's easy and just let things go. Nature will take care of itself. And these guys like Cayman Reynolds and others that are being paid for by the treatment industry and they call it big bee farming. Like, we're getting paid by these guys to push treatments and feed supplements on people. I've had one guy offer me big money for a treatment one time, and I won't say who it was, but it's not very popular in this country. And we told them, heck no. And because we knew it wasn't going to work, and it wasn't going to be helpful, and whatever I would have made in the short term would have cost me in the long term. We don't want to be involved with that kind of stuff. But the kind of getting back to where this started is we have this crowd, and the Utah Bee Man says, I think part of it is that we're in the generation of immediate rewards, and we are, especially my generation and younger. It's so easy though. I mean, I can get on my phone and I can just look anything up pretty much. I can do this with you guys instead of having to wait for a letter to go from one place to the other. I used to go to the library as a kid. I loved going to the library. Nobody goes to the library hardly anymore. You can just get an audiobook right there in your house, download it in 20 seconds. And so we're in a totally different generation. But if we're going to try to grow, because there are some people that aren't like that, we've got to help these people not experience what Michael talked about and what I'm talking about, where they get in and they lose their shirt the first couple of years. Oh, butter pecan. Are you putting honey on that?
I don't need honey. I don't like it.
You invited this guy again?
Yeah.
You sound like me. I've been eating the same bottle of honey for about 2 years now because I just barely touch it anymore.
Something's wrong with you guys. There's a lot of people that don't like honey just straight as it is. But see, if you had Tennessee honey, you'd feel differently. It's the best honey the world has ever created.
No, that's called goldenrod honey. That's the best honey ever.
What is
Get
wrong
outta
with
here.
you?
That's my favorite. I don't like sickeningly sweet honey. I like strong floral
Yeah, you said
honey
that
honey
before.
taste.
Yeah.
Give the man some buckwheat.
Hey,
Yeah.
Straighten him out.
I did buy some honey from Bob. I really like the black in North California. I do like that a lot.
Well, and there's a lot of different ways to eat it. I've got some people in my family that just don't like honey at all, but we've learned to cook with it and stuff like that, and so we use a lot there. The kids use it more than we do, and I don't like it in coffee and I don't like it in tea. I don't like honey in either one. I don't like sugar in them either, though, so there's that. But let's see. Clay said over here, I have a friend in Maine that doesn't eat his honey but uses it to barter it for great things like lobster and seafood. That's a fair trade right there.
100%.
Bring on the lobster or seafood. So I've been fortunate. My dad took us down ever since I was a kid to the Gulf Shores because he was born in Mobile, and so we've always had that good Gulf shrimp and your red snapper and all that kind of stuff. That is where the best seafood is at. But in lobster, you can't beat Maine lobster. We don't have that in the Gulf. What are you looking at, Tom and Melissa? You got me thinking.
Tom's reading.
I'm just reading through stuff.
Well, you struggle.
I like
Yeah, it takes me about a minute to get through like about 5 or 6 words, so just bear with me.
I like Paul Hale's comment. He like to raise bees like Mike Berry, but he won't tell me how to. I tell you what, that Mike Berry, he's like the ultimate gatekeeper on beekeeping, isn't he?
I think so.
I see. Yeah, that Michael Berry guy's a problem. Maybe we ought to start a petition against Mike Berry.
Mm-hmm.
He just causes all kinds of trouble.
Who is Mike Berry?
That actually should be a T-shirt we should make for the expo and have a ton of people put it on.
I'll wear it.
That would be fun.
That honestly, that's been some of the most fun things that have happened at our shows. We've had a couple people bring like weird things of Bob Benny, and Bob's like, "Oh no, I don't like that at all." Like there was a bobblehead Bob Benny, or we call it bobblehead Benny, and then there was also the Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah,
Benny and like Fred Dunn and stuff on it. And
easy
peasy.
Yeah,
easy peasy. That's right.
Long.
Dan
Long, yeah. And then those people played that prank on Frederick Dunn with the spiders during his lecture. And does anyone know who kind of started that idea?
I don't
know either, but it totally threw Fred for a loop. It took him a while to figure out what was going on. And unfortunately, I wasn't in the room, but I have the lectures, of course. I get to see the recordings. And yeah, Mike is about as nice as they come. I mean,
he's amazing.
Hard to beat Mike.
We actually met Mike Berry the first year that we came to
the
your
second
conference, which was technically the second conference that you all held. And we met him before we even got to the conference. Melissa and I were down in Sevierville, and she wanted to go by the Lodge store. And I was just in there kind of following her around. And I happened to look over, and I looked at, and Mike Berry was one of the very few guys that we did watch on YouTube. I looked over and I'm like, that sure looks like Mike Berry. But I'm not necessarily a fanboy type, Yeah. And so anyway, we're walking through again, and we have to pass by another aisle, and I look up, and there he is again. And you get that awkward stare when you're looking at somebody like you're trying to figure it out, and then you realize you're staring at him, and you kind of break eye contact kind of deal because you're not trying to be that guy.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's what happened. and then about the third aisle comes around, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I don't normally do this, but I'm like, yeah, Barry, right? Yeah, I sure am. I seen you notice it, and I'm like, well, here I am, and I'm like, we do enjoy watching your videos. And anyway, so it was kind of a fun time. Then we ended up seeing him out to dinner one other time that same weekend. So this is really before Melissa and I knew anybody within the
we didn't know
community
anybody.
or the crowd. So
Mhm.
it's been a pretty good blessing ever since then, honestly.
Oh, Jimmy's letting the secret out. It was Annette told everyone to stand.
Oh man, his Fred's
own
commanding
wife.
officer
Yeah.
betrayed him, hung him out to dry.
Yeah,
And that's she's super sweet and nice to talk to. She is a little quieter, but if you ever can sit down with her and Fred for dinner, and that's really a pleasure to get to visit with.
Sure.
yeah. So Mike Berry's down here, was down here for the conference. And he came up and set up day, and he came through and he saw me. I saw him in Virginia. We just stopped and talked for a few minutes. And he said, "Hey," and he's waiting for John and them to get here to set up Hilco stuff. And then the next day, he was over there talking to people. Had his Hilco shirt on because he's helping John out. And I walked around the corner and I just looked at him and said, "Hey, young man, so what are you selling?" And he just looks at me and he goes, "Oh no, I don't work here. I'm just friends. I use their stuff." And I looked at him and I went, I know, Mike. I know. And he's like, "I'll have to make sure people know." And he looked at me and went, "Oh, you're just being a smart ass." Yeah. I was just messing with you, Mike. He's like, "Oh, okay. I have to make sure people know. I don't have anything to do with it. I'm just hanging out." Okay.
That's pretty good.
Well, I've met a lot of different people over the years, just like everybody else has, and everyone's got the folks that they'd like to meet. And some, getting to meet someone like Bob Benny or Mike Berry, it's just like such a pleasant experience. And there's been a couple times where I've met some people within beekeeping, whether it's researchers or other YouTubers or whatever, and they got that nose in the air and stuff like that, and whatever. And hey, I'm not expecting everybody to be my friend either, but I put my pants on the same way Tom does every morning. I don't know. Do you jump out of bed and just slide them on real quick before you hit the floor, Tom? That's what I do.
No, I usually stumble around the room, falling into a couple walls, and then you kind of say, "Hey, which one of you guys hit me?"
That's right. Well, I'm not quite as old as you are, Tom, so that's probably why.
I just turned 38 today, so.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, you're 1 year older than me, so.
Okay, Grandpa.
I just
Literally,
expected Tom to sit in a chair with his pants on the floor and just yell for Melissa to come put them on for him. Like, "Hey,
He'd be walking out of the house without pants on often.
Melissa is a very accommodating person, okay, and she takes good care of our family. But I tell you what, she would absolutely not do that.
Well, I think that Thursday with pants.
Uh-oh. Going again.
Come on you to cover you up.
All right, try again.
Say again. You broke up.
Oh, I was saying, I figured if it's between her having to look at you without pants and with pants, she's going to come in there and put pants on you to cover that.
Oh, no.
You up.
In that case, we won't go down this road, but it's quite the opposite. Okay.
Oh, no. We don't need to know. We don't need to know big lies from Tom. That's fine.
Wrong show, boys.
Well, we our RTX honeybees, Philip was like, Annette didn't tell the crowd to do that, but she might have had someone to do it. Whoever got involved, probably multiple
One
people.
skirt at a time.
Did a good job. When you get to be my age, you learn to sit down and put your pants on. I definitely don't do anything too bizarre, but I just don't get this whole thing of putting on airs and stuff like that. It is what it is, and this kind of getting back to people not sharing information. What I've come to find is some of the smartest people in the industry that are super arrogant and won't share anything. They don't love the industry is really what it comes down to. I've talked to them several times, like, man, you would just be so helpful. Why? I've almost have to beg some of these guys to contribute because I think they would have a lot of useful things to say, but they are just not interested in helping anybody out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're like, I had to work hard for this. Everybody else should have to work at least as hard as I had to get this. And, that's their business, but I don't like that attitude. That's not what the Bee Expo is about. Beekeeping's plenty hard enough. And at some point you have to kind of make a decision. I've seen several people do things differently, and that's fine. Laurel and I made a decision a couple of years into the YouTube that we had a couple people that had really helped us out, and we had all of our subscribers that had really helped us out. A lot of them are in here. I mean, I've seen several of them, and they were sharing our videos on Facebook. They were recommending their people in their bee club, Cayman Reynolds videos, and I was really surprised because, especially if you go back and look at videos from 5-6 years ago, that's pretty rough stuff. But they helped me out, and so I didn't get here on my own, and we wanted to continue that. But we made a decision because I knew Bob Benny was going to be massive competition for me on YouTube, but we knew that Bob was just going to be so good, and for all of us, and he totally was, and it's come back and paid us tenfold or more because we helped people find out about Bob. And so therefore Bob produced more education. Therefore I benefited from all that education. And I was able to bring Bob to my show, which has totally been great for our show. Bob's a close friend of mine. And so I don't call him all the time, but like Brian said earlier, there's a lot of people that I can reach out to and say, because I don't know a lot of stuff, and just like, hey Bob, or hey Blake Shook, or now if I get into creamed honey, I will reach out to Brian and be like, hey man, what's up? And heaven forbid I get into plastic molds, I'll probably call Michael, and Michael's like, Cameron, you have no chance, just let me do it for you. And I'll be like, sounds like a good idea. And which I've gotten to the point in my life where I've come to realize at 20, I thought I could do everything. I was going to have my own orchards, my own garden. I was going to do my own beef. I was going to process all my own chickens. I was going to do my own bees. I was going to do all of these amazing things. And it took me a few years to realize you only have so many hours in a week. And you can only be great at a couple things. And so I want to be great at being a dad. I want to be a great husband. I haven't gotten really good at that one yet. And I would like to be pretty good at doing bees and running a good conference, but I can't know it all on creamed honey and plastic injection mold and how to eat butter pecan like JW does without honey, and all the other things. And so that's where the community is so important. My phone is full of good people that can help me out, and it has massively improved my life just from more friends. But that's what the Bee Expo is all about. And I think everyone that comes to it that's not going at it from that angle is really missing out. So Cayman, you call Blake for the latest skinny jeans styling tips. I can't fit those kind of jeans, man. Blake is a really cool guy, but he needs to eat a sandwich.
Oh, that's good.
Blake is pretty sharp. He's not much of a beekeeper these days either. He's a good beekeeper. Blake knows more about beekeeping than I do. But Blake's running all these businesses. He's like a visionary, eye in the sky type guy. His brothers run the bee operation. He's involved, but he's also run all these stores and brokering bees and all this other stuff, writing books and YouTube videos. And he's just he dresses the part, but he's involved with so many boards, whether it's the ABF or the honey producers or the honey board and half a dozen other ones. And so he shows up to these events in his $800 boots and them skinny jeans and one of them fancy shirts, and he's got his hair brushed, and of course he's nicer than I am. He's not he's somewhat of a funny guy, but he's not like I am. I'm out of control. Blake's very in control, reserved. I wish I could be like that. I tried a couple times and everyone thought something was wrong with me, and so I just gave up. And
it's not who you are.
It's not.
Yeah.
I could do better though, I'm sure. But Blake, it always impresses me when guys like Bob and Blake will actually call me their friend, to be honest, because we're very, very different. And I just wish I could be a little bit more mature. I think my wife wishes that too. I know Melissa wishes that. I intercepted a a letter to Santa on what she wanted for Christmas.
Hey, that's just overrated, and it's
Oh,
not going to happen. It's not in the cards for me.
I would like for Tom to grow up this year, Santa.
Yeah, she's gonna have to. She's gonna have to put that one in their back pocket again for a while. Not sure that that's gonna happen.
It's not. Well, I appreciate you guys bringing me on tonight. I've got a thing or two I promised I'd help Jimmy complete tonight, and it's 9:20, so I've got to get with it, and so I don't miss on trying to be great at being a dad. But
Yeah,
it's always good to see all of you guys, and
Appreciate you coming on, man.
you guys know how to get a hold of me. Just if you send an email, it'll just take forever to get back to you. All that stuff.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, I know. Well, and that's the crazy thing. It's like you might catch me on a live like this, but then my getting to me with an email is a terrible experience. I gotta figure that one out. But anyway, Brian, I will get back with you on that. And basically, yes is the answer. So I'm going to put it on my calendar. That everything I saw was good on my end. So unless you have something else, I will still email you back. But basically, I'm a green light on my end. Figure out what you want me to talk on, and I'll give it my best shot. It'll be the most entertaining event you've ever had. It may not be the most educational.
We can touch base in Tampa too. I'll be there too.
That's right. You're going to be in Tampa, so
Yep.
I'll see you there. We'll have dinner or something.
Right on.
All right, guys, behave. We'll see you later.
take it
See
easy.
you on the next one.
Be a good dad.
Yep.
See ya.
So, Melissa, you ready to talk about this?
Sure, let's do it. I think Philip's still on. So I just want to do a little reminder to everybody about the Hives for Heroes raffle that Philip has organized over the last 3 years. We're right now accepting donations for gift baskets or equipment, gift cards, whatever you'd like to give to make this raffle spectacular. Last year, our group was able to raise over $2,000 for to be donated to Hives for Heroes, and we'd like to exceed that. We've already gotten like probably 10 amazing raffle items.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about what we've gotten so far. We're just, like I said, compiling the list of items right now, and then we'll have all that published hopefully the first week in December. Tickets are live and on sale right now. You can scan that QR code down there at the bottom of the poster to purchase tickets, or you can make a flat donation, whatever you want to do. That goes straight to Hives for Heroes. That's actually their donation. I guess that's what they use. I don't know why we're taking a picture, but anyway, I guess that's one of the platforms they use for fundraising. So the money goes directly to Hives for Heroes, and they give a report back to Philip of who bought what tickets, how many tickets you bought, and then that's how the tickets get applied to the raffle items. So anyway, there are several items though that are pick up at Nobby only. So the way that was handled last year is all the items that were picked up at Nobby, those were raffled off first. And if your name got drawn for one of those items, but you were not coming to Nobby, then you got to choose one of the items that was still available that could be shipped to you. So even if you're not coming to Nobby, you're not. There's still going to be plenty of items for you to win. So don't let that discourage you from entering. And I think if you are not comfortable doing electronic payments, I think it accepts everything: PayPal, Venmo, credit card, all that fun stuff. I think Philip said you can mail checks to him directly, and then he will get those to Hives for Heroes. And our email addresses are at the bottom of that flyer. I think, I don't remember what it is. Mine's viahoneybees@gmail.com. Philip's is pmorris81.proton.me. So if you guys want any more information, or if you'd like to donate a gift basket or any item, just contact Philip or myself, and we'd be more than excited to get your item on our list or answer any questions. So anyway, that's my spiel for the Hives to Heroes raffle. And the drawing is going to be on Joey's channel that Saturday before Christmas. I don't know what that date is off the top of my head.
20. I forgot. 20 something.
20th,
The 20th.
December 20th.
So that's when the drawing is going to be. So
It's like right around the solstice. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
And
get
Michael,
your
thanks
tickets.
for working with me with that idea. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I think that's an
Yeah.
amazing idea.
Yeah,
So-
when I get back, I kind of double checked it last night. Should be good to go. So I should be able to bring all that down there
Cool.
and be good.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So we've got some really awesome raffle items so far. So I'm really excited.
Some generous people.
Yes. And also, while you're at it, go ahead and sign up for the No Life Bee Life Beekeepers Dinner that Wednesday night before Navi. Free tickets. Just I don't have that one queued up. Go to the No Life Beekeepers Facebook page, and there's flyers on there. Go to the Via Honeybees Facebook page; it's on there too. Or just watch one of the last few lives of Joey's, and it'll be on one of those too. So,
Hey, all I want to know is Michael with 21st Bee planning on being there? Because I'm not going if he's not.
I don't know, Michael with 21st Bee, you're being put on the spot.
What am I doing?
I
I was looking at hats. So what?
I'm just curious if Michael with 21st Bee was going to be there at that dinner, because if he's not, I'm probably not going to show up.
Oh well. So what time is that again? I forgot. Is it like 6 to 9?
6 to 9.
6 to 9, yeah. On Wednesday,
Okay.
6 to 9. It's like at the signature venues.
So the vendor thing is 7 to 10.
So here's what you can do.
Which
You can come to ours and then not go to theirs.
that is true. They have,
Shame on them for doing something the same night.
they're going to have better food, but I've got to pay like $70 for that food.
Yeah.
So if I did that, I don't want to go for 20 minutes and dip out. But I heard there might be a pizza party, so I'm like, well,
I would say it's likely.
like I could get a buffet plate to go, bring it to the
Be
event,
there in hotel
and
Wi-Fi.
sit there
There you go.
hotel buffet at the pizza party.
Can you bring 175 of them for the rest of your friends?
As I pull up in a 24-foot box truck and ram somebody's car and smash into a wall.
Well,
Trying
that's
to
your
parallel park
choice.
it.
But we're not going to throw rocks at you if you bring all that kind of food, okay?
Oh yeah, I'll put that on my list. I'll definitely just bring all that with me.
Sounds good.
No, I'll go. I might go to the non-vendor one the next night, but like I said, the vendor one, you get to talk to all the vendors that you can't really talk to during the show.
Yeah.
But
That's
I bet
true.
a lot of them are probably going to y'all's event too. I mean, I would at least think some of them are.
It's hard to move around when you're tied to a booth.
Yeah. And even that, I'm not super social. So even if I go to the vendor dinner, like I said, it's hard to talk to a bunch of people when I'm standing over there eating fish in a corner by myself, just hanging out. So yeah, might as well. I mean, I'm sure I'll end up showing up to y'all's at some point.
Hey, we'll talk to you at ours, okay? We're friendly folks.
I see you all the time.
I know.
I don't want to talk to you.
All right, Joey.
Like
Good gun.
people
got
like
another
you
one?
make me buy things like this to send you to get you to shut up.
Listen, this is what we'll do. Next time you're unloading, I will happily come move the plastic wrap out of the truck for you so it doesn't hurt you, okay?
Mm.
Is that fair enough?
Hey, it sounds like a joke. Those things are heavy. Okay.
Listen, I realize you get all wrapped up in your work, bud, but
All right. Yeah. So for you guys that don't know, so this morning I was getting ready to go over to the convention center. I had to hook the trailer back up. I always keep one of those big rolls of industrial stretch wrap from one of our wrapping machines with me, in case I'm moving stuff and it gets wobbly. I can just throw some wrap around it real quick and not have to screw around straps. Well, I didn't secure it in the back seat of my truck. So when I opened my back door to get something else out, the whole roll slid out with the cardboard tube in first with all the weight behind it.
ouch.
Landed right on the end of my big toe and broke it.
Dang it.
So I went to the show all day long with a broken, swollen toe, kind of standing on it all day. And I got here to the hotel and I took my shoe and sock off, and yeah, I broke the tip of my big toe. It's all nice and
Ouch.
good looking. But yeah, that's the 6th or 7th toe I've broken on my right foot this year.
Holy cow.
I've never broken one in my life, and this year it's just the year of me dropping and kicking and breaking things with my feet.
New company policy, steel toes for you.
It's usually when I'm not at work, so
Definitely, this was a work event.
it's not when I'm wearing sandals. So I wear sandals all the time. I'm actually usually wearing shoes when it happens.
You ready?
Yep,
Liz?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, she's probably
All
taking
right.
some more,
Where'd
folks.
it go? Okay.
So this is the dinner flyer. If you want to get tickets, the first QR code on the top is for tickets. The second QR code is if you'd like to donate towards the dinner to cover the decorations, raffle, or not raffle, door prizes. And also we have gotten a quote to have it catered to do pizza, salad, and I think mozzarella sticks is what the other thing was. And to have it catered, we would need to raise about $1,000 more than what we already have right now. So if you'd like to get tickets to the dinner, it's Wednesday before Nabi. If you'd like to donate, there's the QR code to donate. It's not required. And any monies that are not spent on the dinner will be donated to Hives for Heroes. So nobody's keeping any money from this. Nobody's making any money on this. Every penny that's donated will either get used for the dinner or donated to Hives for Heroes. So if anybody wants to join us, it's going to be a great time. There's 175 spots available. Well, capacity. Right now, I think we are like at 85. We're right at about halfway to capacity. So if you'd like to join everybody for dinner and hang out and a little meet and greet type thing, we'd love to have everybody. And the tickets are free. And you can bring in outside food. Even if we have it catered, you can still bring in outside food. So it was really fun last year. It was really fun the year before. So we just want a place that everybody can come and nobody's excluded because of cost or anything like that. So if you're coming in early.
Who's doing the pizza?
So the pizza would be from Craft House Pizza, which is where we had the party last year, the dinner last year.
Okay. I'm wondering if I could make a request, if we can call them, and maybe have a few of the, and I forgot what it's called. It's different every pizza place you go. But my wife can't eat the crust.
The gluten-free?
The gluten-free pan.
Yeah.
The cauliflower crust?
Yeah.
Yeah. That or either just have it in the pan with the different toppings and everything and no crust at all.
Oh, like a crustless pizza?
Yeah, she gets them pretty sometimes she'll get one for me. They're pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So they did. I will tell you this, Joey. They didn't quote us on that. They quoted us for 3 or 4 different options for single topping pizzas that were not gluten free. But I'm certain that we can. Yeah, we can get some there. And Mark's specialty on them, or something.
Yeah, they do offer gluten free options. So that won't be an issue. Yeah, I'll make a note to have that as an accommodation for some people.
Maybe what we could do is buy a handful of additional pizzas on top of what we're already going to have just to cover that if there's a crowd of people that need that.
Yep, that's not an issue. Thanks for bringing that up, though. I will put that in my notes right now so I don't forget.
Yeah, some places call it a pizza bowl. One pizza place here calls it a monster bowl or monster something. But it's pretty good. I mean, I've had one. I got her to get me one time, and I don't eat them all the time, but I get one every now and then.
Mm-hmm. All right, I have it in my notes.
Gotcha.
Alicia's bringing Matt. Good deal.
Matt will bring fondant to eat for everybody for a snack.
Yep.
That'll be dessert.
It actually tastes pretty good. I've tasted it.
Joey, you need to quit listening to Joey and Matt and eating stuff that belongs in the bee's gut, not yours.
Todd, I don't know if we'll have any bourbon honey to bring. We're about sold out of it. So we need to get another batch going here pretty quick.
If we
get almost too late to start one for Nobby this year, huh?
Yeah,
I'm,
if we
I'm
get
gonna bring about 200 bottles of mine. Mine sold out fast this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, people really love that stuff. There's only a select few that don't.
Well, here's our dilemma right now. We've probably got, like, in containers, in bottles, I've probably got maybe 20 bottles of it right now, bottled. And we've got a little bit still in the bottling tank, but I'm out of bottles. I need to order bottles. So we'll see how fast I order bottles and get them delivered.
Yeah.
You know?
We get those bottles in by the pallet. Those and the
Yeah.
creamed honey jars, we get those in by the pallet, so they're easy to move and transport around.
You get a little bit of a price break too when you order
Yeah.
larger quantities.
I want to point out something that Cayman said that I really liked that he was on to, and I think that he's got something going there. When he mentioned having tickets for next year as like large group rates, so like an organization, I think he's really thinking ahead on this. And even if he offers a small discount on it, I think he would potentially sell more tickets, make people feel warm and fuzzy about getting a quote unquote discount. So I think he's really on to something here with that. Be interesting to see what he'll have up his sleeve for next year. And that's why I kind of asked the question earlier to see what his thoughts were on that. Obviously these guys have kind of learned as they've gone along in the last number of years, but it's kind of been a little bit of an evolutionary type scenario for them. But I like that they're still thinking ahead and trying to bring back that community feeling to a large operation like that.
I want to add something real quick to anybody going to Nobby. I know Brian commented it on, I think it was Charlie's chat last night, one of the recent ones. When you go to Nobby, those gate attendants, bring them honey.
Yeah.
Last year we went, the last day we gave them honey. They said nobody had given a whole 3 or 4 days of beekeepers coming in and out of those gates. They said nobody had given any of them any honey. So bring little bottles of honey to give to the parking attendants, the gate attendants or whatever. They will, like, she was ecstatic we gave her honey.
Until now, when they try to leave and go off their shift, they're going to walk out and have 70 little bottles. What in the world am I supposed to do with all these little things and drop them all over the parking lots? And everybody's going to slam all little bottles now.
I think that it would go quite the opposite. If people loaded these gate attendants up or the staff with honey, what's going to happen is, and I realize this is a big facility and that doesn't mean it's going to go to some great level, but I think what you'd end up finding is you will get much better customer service for one. I think that you might even get free passes in some silly little form or fashion, or just some specialized care or what have you. I think it's a great idea. It would cost everybody next to nothing to do something like that.
So we need to go to the food vendors at lunch when there's like a $25 cheeseburger. Walk up with all these little mini bottles and dump them on the counter and go, how much? First they're bartering, how much for a fry?
So, Michael, great idea. But I didn't, and I told Cayman this too. I'm like, that food was not good.
I didn't eat the whole time I was gone. I was so sick, but my dad said,
the
food was just, he was just like, he just didn't eat lunch after the first day.
Yeah.
I know, Paul, we got yelled at for, actually when we were leaving, the lady said something about the wagon that I was the
whole weekend Melissa hauled the wagon in to bring all her honey stuff in. It's a small little wagon like you would see like on a beach, basically, a little collapsible wagon with plastic tires on it. And she brought her stuff in, she maneuvered around, we took it out. The very last day, at the very last hour, I'm going across the floor, not that many people left, and she goes, hey, you can't take that through the door. I am literally 5 steps from the door. And I turn around and look at her, and I'm not trying to be combative, but I'm like, ma'am, I am not taking this all the way through the back of this thing, just haul it out. And I just had, so I broke the rules. Please don't blacklist me.
It was just funny. Yeah, hopefully you have better health this time, Michael, because you were pretty miserable last year, or this year, technically.
If I'm sick again, Dad doesn't do technology, I'm cooked. Like, Tom's gonna have to come over and do the whole booth for me the entire time, and I'm gonna have to pay him an ungodly amount of money to do it just to get something done.
Hey, after we finish this up, let's talk numbers, okay?
Emergency numbers, worst case scenarios. How much is Tom going to take advantage of me?
Honestly, I would not want to work a little bit here or there would be perfectly fine with me. Helping out and whatever would be absolutely fine with me. Just to help somebody out. But I absolutely would not want to work that whole weekend at that event. I just
it's
for me, I utilize that as just it's multiple things. We get to get some product, but more importantly, and even if there was no product there and I didn't bring a single thing home, I would absolutely go just for the people. So you could call it a quote unquote vacation, if you will. And that's kind of how I utilize it,
Yeah, it's like, us, like me and Bill and all of us, we're anchored. We can't go really leave and socialize. We don't get to go to single talk, single class. You're basically answering the same, because you have a lot of new people that have never seen your stuff and been around you. You're answering the same 5 questions nonstop all day long, every single day. It just kind of gets mind numbing after a little bit. You have good conversations in between, but then you have the people that just kind of pass through and went the highlights real quick, and it's just so repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
There's just never time to actually break away and go hang out and talk. That's why I guess the vendors were wanting more time to do that, which is where the whole vendor dinner idea came from.
Yeah, and a great idea too. You guys deserve some time to network and have some downtime as well. You absolutely do. And
Excellent.
like I said before, Michael, and I'm being completely serious when I say this. If there's a time and point where you're overwhelmed with something and I can help out in some very small form or fashion to you, I am just happy to do it just to help. No strings attached whatsoever. You don't owe me a hat. You don't owe me a shirt. You don't owe me frames.
So I'm going to put a sign up that says problem questions come back at 2 p.m. At 2 p.m., Tom's going to be in the booth, and he's going to get all the problem questions.
You know what? Bring them, because here's the thing. I don't have to. You have to go home with this company. I don't. I think we lost you, Michael. That or you have some dumb smile on your face. Which one is it?
He froze up.
He's giving me a smirk. You better stop.
Talking about perfect timing.
There he goes.
So it looks like
Perfect timing.
At JL Apiary's booth, selling bucket alarms, working at Michael's booth, and then working at Bill Shenandoah booth too. So he's bucking up quick, guys.
Well, hey, at some point, Corhans want to go party, so you need to go over and help Arden in Ape May's booth.
Yeah.
Where else can we send you?
There, Todd. If you're still on here, Todd, you can walk Tom from booth to booth if he needs to be.
Hey, Tom's gonna need a bag man with a schedule and bottles of water to keep him hydrated and keep him on point. So anybody needs to be a Tom bag man. I mean, there's a job out there for you.
There you go, Todd.
I feel like I'm booked.
Hey, Carl. Hey, Mike.
You think you're gonna have a good time conversating with people, but no, you're gonna work.
I'm definitely going to conversate with folks. That's my networking event.
Melissa's going to make sure you do it, because if you're working, you can't spend money. So that's our way to keep you in budget too.
JW and I like to pal around down there, just kind of low key. I think him and I, so people don't recognize us, we're just going to put on some wigs with long hair, like some ZZ Top hippies, and we're just going to stroll along there like we're some hippy dippy beekeepers.
Hey. Go by Michael's booth and pick up some of his little B-Tech smokers and walk around and just shoot vapors in the air and play around and have fun.
Well, I like it when he does the bubbles, the smoke-filled bubbles. That was always fun.
Never booth job. You're also bubble guy. So.
There you go.
Great.
Bubble boy.
Bubble boy.
What's up, Mike?
Not much. Been listening to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I have special hearing aids that block Tom out. So it's been pretty good.
Mike, don't tell Melissa that, because she is absolutely not getting a pair of those.
I'm putting
Just
those on my
anything that says noise density. Anything that does noise deafening should work on Tom.
I think so.
Where's JW
Oh, it's my keys.
t-shirts? Or something? Well, it should be where's JW's keys.
Oh, he's been quiet too long.
I know.
Hey, Carl.
I think he's mad at us.
Hey guys,
How you doing, Carl?
good to see you all.
Looks like somebody stuck into some chat there.
Joey, I think we have a problem in the bottom.
Uh-oh.
All right, I ordered it.
Thank you.
Oh, I gotta go shut my TV off in the other room.
Well, it's not showing up on the YouTube on my YouTube.
What
part.
you seeing?
If you go down to 946 from at LMA.
Yeah, don't actually say it out loud. Like,
Yeah.
It's an interesting situation, but
You see that, right?
It's
Yeah.
jumping too much.
In bed.
it's,
There we go.
there we go.
Say good night.
Oh,
Charge each one $20.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
See you, kiddo.
Night.
Good night.
they refunded it. Refund is issued. The-
I like she was talking to me.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
JW says you were talking to her. Haley, come say goodnight to JW.
Good night, JW.
JW is right around Pop's age.
Mhm.
He's a
Good
farmer
night,
too.
sweetheart. Good night.
Give him away. He's right up there. That's JW.
Good night, JW.
Say
Good
hi.
night, JW.
Good night, sweetheart.
Get the big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all
Brian,
came
you
along
still in
just in
Florida?
time to help us close down.
How was your Saturday, Carl? Did you have any markets today?
Yeah, we had a show at a market that was literally 5 minutes from the house,
Oh,
and it was
nice.
really refreshing because we had a ton of local people that didn't even know about us show up and buy a ton of honey.
Cool.
And we had people from all over traveling just to come get honey from us too. So it was really nice. We had a great show.
Awesome.
We,
Carl, that is always a big compliment when somebody walks up to your booth and says, I am here specifically because of you.
yeah.
I had that twice today, and I'm telling you, that is a huge compliment. I love hearing people say that.
Yep. It is a great feeling, and we probably had about 5 different people that said that we traveled from here or there to come back because we saw that you were selling here to get honey from you, and it was really refreshing to hear, you know.
Yeah.
So
Congratulations, man. That's really awesome to hear that.
yeah, it's a good feeling. You're right, Tom. It is a very good feeling. So we enjoyed it, and
Well, you
it
guys
always
always
helps when
have-
you're less than 10 minutes from the house too.
Oh, 100%. Melissa and I are kind of in the same boat.
Especially when you load really quick on a Friday night and you forget to put the bags in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Those are kind of important.
Yep. And that's kind of a key factor. You have a bag to give to people when you're selling stuff to them.
Yeah.
Thank God we were only 5 minutes, 10 minutes from the house, you know. So it was kind of funny, but we enjoyed it because it was so close.
Yeah.
So, but how's everybody doing? How you doing, Big Mike?
Doing good. Still putting my bees to rest, but another day
Are you
tomorrow.
done extracting all that honey that you had?
Yeah, I got it all extracted. Haven't dealt with my cappings.
Yeah. I don't think all of us have dealt with all our cappings yet. Maybe Joseph, because he started like 2 months ago.
Okay.
Joe, you done with all your uncappings and that? All your wax and stuff?
I still got a lot of cappings in the freezer. I hadn't melted it down yet.
I was going to see, you've been a tripper.
Yeah, it's funny how when you're uncapping honey that kind of gets pushed off to the side, and it's like, yeah, I'll get back to that. Yeah, keep on pushing off to the side and that, you know. So, but that's the good stuff when you can do that.
I still have all my beeswax sitting in my encapping tank at home. I haven't got a chance to process it yet.
Well, you've been a busy guy, Brian. I mean, you got a lot on your plate right now. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
I've been there.
You're gonna try.
I feel for you.
Are you gonna try to put it through your wax spinner?
Man, at this point, Mike, I don't know what state it's going to be in. You know, I'm going to get home and it's going to be frozen.
Yeah, well, you have a warming cabinet you can do buckets in?
Yeah, yeah.
Put it in that and spin it with a drill, get everything broken up good and get it nice and warm, and it'll spin quite a bit of it out through the capping spinner.
That's a good idea.
Especially if you have a warm place to put the capping spinner.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Put a little electric heater under it so that stays warm.
I just got to get home to do all this stuff.
I know you're in Florida eating these fancy meals. I
Yeah.
saw that.
Let me tell you, man, that was a little Mexican side of the stand, or like side of the road food truck that we've passed by every single time we've been here. It's a half a mile from my in-laws' house. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get dinner there tonight. And it was the best meal I've had here. Holy cow. Authentic Mexican food, nice fish tacos. Holy cow.
I think Tom pretty much lives off fish tacos when we go to Florida.
Oh, man. Shit. Brian, I'm not even hungry, and that sounds delicious right now, man.
It was good.
Honestly, if I had free time and had Melissa's money, I'd fly down there and visit with you just to go to lunch and dinner, man.
I'd take you out to lunch, Tom, for
I'd
sure.
be there.
How's the weather? Is all the businesses in your name or what?
Say it again, Carl.
Are all the businesses in Melissa's name the way it sounds?
Yeah.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. I got you, Carl.
Yeah, I think Philip. If I didn't have cold weather at night, it's gotten to freezing at night. So I'm sure there would be wax moths in there for sure.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
For anybody that actually uses drums, what have you guys used? Is there anything in Genius that you have used or come up with to keep those uncrystallized or warm them up enough to get them into, let's say, like a 5-gallon bucket or a pail to fully
uncrystallize? Did you see the thing Brad Hogg made last year for that guy? It was a honey warmer for drums. You could put 4 drums in there at once.
Was it like a little hot box?
It was a hot box, and it had, I would say, probably 7 of the reptile heaters in it, and a fan. And he could just bring the 2-wheel truck in and drop a pallet of drums in there.
Okay.
Are we talking about like 55-gallon drums? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I only asked because if you've ever looked for anything to uncrystallize honey in a drum, it's extremely expensive. For instance, the immersion one that you put down inside there, which is like a huge heat element that goes in there, that's going to run, I think, what was it, $1,200 or $1,300?
Yeah, something like that.
And then you're compromising the honey because of the heat source going down through it. I would have to. I just throwing something out here quick. How about a couple sheets of plywood and box something in and a turbo heater?
Could.
Oh yeah, you have one of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just blowing it into a corner even. Not saying you make a room or anything, just something that, put it on the low setting. And especially if you did something like in your garage, Tom, and your garage would heat up naturally. It might take a couple days, but I think that something like that would probably work.
That actually is
like a drum warmer, the outside drum warmers, you're talking $500-$700 just for something that wraps around the outside of the drum. But if you're looking for a cheap out, I mean, a 20-pound cylinder or one of those heaters that are kerosene in that, it's a sealed unit, the 55-gallon drum. So, I mean, to get by once or twice now, I mean, obviously you're at a scale that you're not going to do this all the time. You're going to take the next step. So,
well, I wouldn't necessarily do it all the time because I typically try to get it into 5-gallon pails because that's easier and manageable where we keep them at, which is not at our shop area. That's here at our house. And I don't ever keep any machines here for that, so that actually is a great idea. And actually, I think I might utilize that.
Here's another quick one that you threw at me last year. You have a Hilco clarifier that holds 23 gallons. How would if you just scooped it in there and turned it on?
I was trying to keep from having to scoop it all out as a solid.
Yeah,
that was my goal.
I got you. Yeah.
Sorry, being lazy. Forgive me.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I understand. But that's another option too,
Yeah.
So
I think the first one was really good because, again, I don't have intention of doing this on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But for like a onesies, twosies kind of thing, you could get a couple of sheets of plywood and maybe some cheap insulation for next to nothing. And like you said, maybe a 20-pound cylinder or even 2 wouldn't cost much. So that would work.
I mean, you're going through growing pains, and I understand that. And but this could be a quick out for you for this season, and in the future, obviously, you could get a better game plan.
Yeah.
Now, Tom, y'all are big enough. You need to build you a hot room now.
Not here. I don't want any of that. I really don't. I don't like working out of my house. It's not fun.
That's why Melissa does it all.
I know, right?
Wow.
I know.
Mike was quick on the draw. I like it.
I know. This is the first time you guys have seen me like sit and not working around him in a while, right?
Oh, settle down.
Yeah, we've noticed that. He does the sitting, you do the working.
You're really
listen, Melissa. The way it looks, you have the halo over you with the lights. So
I know.
You got it all.
When we first sat down, I was trying to like move the laptop so it wouldn't be so bad, but like there's just not a good place in this little room that lighting works correctly. But
Oh.
So we had markets near us today too, Carl.
I saw you did.
Yeah, so we didn't have anything planned for this weekend. And then we were at a market last weekend, and this lady messaged me, and she's like, hey, would you guys be interested in next weekend doing this market? And it's like at a church, maybe 5 miles from our house, I guess.
Yeah.
And so then they had a lot of vendors. They probably had like at least 40, 50. Like they had quite a few vendors there.
Oh, there was more than 50.
Anyway, like, yeah, we're not doing anything. Sure, we'll do it. So we did that, and the load in was actually, you could load in on Friday night. So we went up there and just dropped everything off and set up our tables last night, and then set up our product this morning.
Yep.
But then yesterday afternoon, though, I noticed there was this other market that is like less than a mile from our house at this brewery. They do it like every weekend, but there's always been a honey vendor there. So I've never really pushed into it because I'm like, I don't want to, like, there's no reason for there to be more than one honey vendor in like a small farmer's market or whatever. Yeah. So I noticed there wasn't one on her list yet, and she was still compiling her vendor list. I'm like, hey, we'd be happy to fill in any gaps if your honey vendor can't make it, on a weekend or whatever during your market. And so she immediately like messaged me back. We actually, our honey vendor's not coming. If you want to step in, She's like, but I noticed you already have an event this day, which we did, but they're both like super close to home. And the one was from 9 to 2, and this other small one was from 2 to 5.
And it was outside.
The first one was indoors. The second one was outside. So I know we can do 2 events at the same time. That's fine. So Tom and I went and did the morning one, and then Andrew and his girlfriend went and did the little afternoon one. So it worked out good. But like you were saying, you forgot bags, right? This little one in the afternoon literally is less than a mile from our house.
Yeah.
Andrew calls me up. He's got like an hour left of this event. He's like, hey, I'm down to my last $1 bill.
Yeah.
Bring me some more cash. Like, yeah, I'll be up there in a minute. So, those nice close to home ones are really convenient for if you run out of product and you need to run home and get some more, or you run out of change.
It's amazing how much stress is held off of you when you're within that like 10-minute, 20-minute window of the house. Mm-hmm. And it's funny how you say about the money. It's it took us almost 2 years to figure out when you're going to a show, you have to have this many ones, this many fives, this many tens and 20s and everything. And Brian's laughing already because it takes time to figure out that little number count. And the
And
killer is when
farmers
you get
markets
the
are one thing, and big events are another thing. They're
Mhm.
different
Yep.
amounts.
Yep, and then on top of it, then when you have it figured out, it always screws you.
Yep.
You always get kicked in the pants because, like you're saying, you run out of ones or you run out of fives. I mean,
Yep.
I had one time we were very lucky. We just caught it on a Saturday where there was the local bank open, and it was a festival that really the town really strived to have every year. And my wife walked in there and said, "Hey, we're down here selling, and we're out of fives." And the lady's like, "Oh yeah, we stay open an extra hour. Just take care of that festival. What do you need? No charge, no nothing." It was like amazing,
Wow.
Yeah.
you know. So but it's very hard to do that little things, you know. So
Yep. So Philip said that he has a honey vendor usually about 6 feet of separation, which we go to plenty of farmers markets, but there's other honey vendors too. This particular farmers market, we know the other, like we're friends with the other honey vendors, and we know that they don't produce what we produce. So like I know, I'm going to let them sell all their product before we move in and try to sell ours, like it's just not a big deal. That particular market, it's not a big deal for me.
you know, it's funny you say that, Melissa, because whenever like the show I had today, there was no other honey vendors, which is obviously a great point for us. We're going to do well. All right. But I had one other event where in the spring I was one of two honey vendors. I met the other guy, introduced myself, went down to his stand, and was very cordial and nice to him, and we became friends. And I told him, "You ever need anything?" And I always tell him this: just pick up a phone and call me in that, And I want to work with you. I'm not going to work against you. Well,
Yeah.
in the fall, when we sold at the same sale, same town, and everything else, there was 5 of us, and we did well anyway. But and he was bitching up a storm, and I said, "Hey, just your product, sell it, and that's it. What are you going to do?" And I told him the same thing, and I met the other guy that was one of the other guys he was friends with too, and I told him the same thing. If I could ever help you out, I'm not here to try and cut your backs or anything like that. I'm here to sell honey just like you are. We're selling a good product and that. Just stand behind it and that. And there was another honey vendor there that was a commercial person that was buying and selling honey. They were not even producing it themselves, and we all knew it. But I said, "Hey, it is what it is. Just sell on your quality,
Right.
So, that's all you can do, and run with it.
I agree.
Yeah, the only thing that I would tell the other honey vendors when they were down there is, we looked at, the pricing and stuff and the way that they had things displayed and set up. And sometimes the display you have set up and the presentation makes all the difference in the world. It honestly, it really does. If you have a very good sense of professionalism and you are, like Brian has talked about this specifically before, people like to buy from the beekeeper. Not from somebody else who doesn't beekeep. They like that warm, fuzzy feeling they get when they are buying from the beekeeper. It gives them that sense of security and that idea that, and it may be true in some cases, may be true and not true, in some cases, but
and that you're
that they're
educated
getting
about
the
what you're
absolute
selling.
best product possible.
Yes.
We've always told people before when they're going to markets, and I'm like, hey, even if you're not buying from me and you're buying from somebody, I'm like, these are the things I feel like you should be looking for. I'm like, you are talking about a product that stands alone out of any other food, and it should be held to a very high standard, and you should accept nothing less. And so I think you're kind of creating a good customer that has an education on what they're looking for. People are happy to pay a good price for a very nice product.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the funny thing was where this show was today. My wife's brother actually lives a half a mile from there, and that's one of our bee yards is right there. So it was amazing selling point.
Yeah.
So it's so local. You're like, well, you want to see the bees? Go out here and go a quarter mile down this road. They're right there and look at our hives.
Yeah.
So it makes
We
it a
had-
real good sale. It really
We had
does.
the exact same scenario today, Carl, and I said and I had this happen. I see this more and more often now. People will say, "Are you local?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, we are." And I'm like, so local that I said, "Our bees, if it was a warm day, would be flying this far." That's how close they are to here. And I'm like, you can go about a mile this way, and maybe 3/4 of a mile that way, and you can see I'm like, you'll see between those 2 yards, probably somewhere about 65 colonies.
Probably more than that between those 2 yards.
Yeah,
that helps.
I've only run into one time, and it was just like about a month ago at an event, and it was a small event. Again, Tom always tries to go out because I'm sitting at the booth working. Tom always tries to go out and socialize and talk to the other vendors.
And buy the cookies.
And buy cookies.
Yes.
No, talk to the other,
Yeah.
because there's always at least one other beekeeper at our events, right? And he'll go out and talk to them, and everything's great. I did an event, it was about a month ago, and it was a small event. Don't get me wrong. It was a small, but it was a free event. Like, there was no vendor fees or anything. It was like a ladies' night out thing. There was another beekeeper, just a backyard beekeeper, probably only had like 10 hives at the most. And I tried like 3 or 4 times to like start a conversation with this person, and all I would get back was 1-word answers. And I was like, what?
Basically cold-shouldered.
But he was talking to every other vendor around us, but did not want to have anything to do with like. But he did come over before the event started and checked out our table, and then never said another word. Maybe 1-word responses.
When she
Now
told me
we've been over 3 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the chat down, and we can stay over in the green room.
Joey, thanks again for hosting tonight.
Yes,
Thank
always.
you, Joey.
I enjoyed
Good
it.
night, everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Night,
it.
everybody.
Appreciate
Good night,
everybody. We'll see y'all in just a few minutes.
That's a good idea, Paul. See his blessing.